Okay. Are we good now? I know an ad will probably pop up for some people, but let me know if we're good now. I think I got everything fixed up. It has been a day, y'all. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I'm going to try and not destroy your ears again. Apologies for that. I don't know what has been going on today, but I'm going to be a little bit louder to start out with. Don't worry about it. We'll be able to even it out with the audio of the race. But welcome on in to another one of these off-season streams that I think we're getting accustomed to doing, as long as it doesn't crash out on me. Yeah, be sure to lick the like button. Let me know the audio. Give me like a yes or no if the audio is good. We got Old School Auto Club today. We're going to be watching, the 2013 Auto Club 400. Awesome. We're good. I'm going to try not to blow out the mic because it is going to be a little higher up, just because I know we've had problems before where the race audio drowns me out, and I'd rather it start out a little louder and then have to work our way to the middle if we have to. It's been about a year since I've done this, so give me a little slack. But basically, we're just going to watch from now until, if you haven't seen it, because I'm not going to try and spoil it for you. If we have anything interesting happen at the end of the race or post-race, we'll keep it on with that and just the fun side of it. And ask any questions you want in there. You can do it as like a Q&A with something to watch in the background. Try not to spoil it for people who are new, because there are a lot of people. Remember, this race happened almost 12 years ago. As of next March, it will have been 12 years since this race took place. 2013 might seem very close in the rearview mirror to a lot of us. I get that. But it is actually a long time ago. To put it in perspective, I was 15 and in my freshman year of high school watching this race. I believe it was it was my freshman year of high school. So yeah, I'm with you, Peter. I feel old too thinking about it. It's like today's my cousin's 20th birthday. And I was like telling her how old I feel with that too. Like, it's just, time flies, but we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have fun with time flying. We're letting everybody jump on in. Yeah, so Peter and I were in the same class. Awesome. We're in the same graduating class of 2016. Shout out all those ones out there. We got some in 6th grade. I saw one in there before I went live and blew everyone's ears out that said that they were sitting in turn 1 of this race, drunk. I would not want to pay with that drunk sunburn. I've had drunk sunburns before, not very fun. I'm going to try and not talk too much over it. I just want to make sure people have the opportunity to file on in, and we'll roll in like that. If there's any more audio issues, I've closed out literally everything but OBS at this point. And by the way, I won't say too much in depth, but for you NWP fans, maybe we might have something better than OBS next year. Just saying. So I'll let you in on that one right there. I should let you know that the NWP has a lot of cool stuff coming up. The entire offseason, I'm going to be talking about it. But I think everybody's sort of rolling on in. We've been live about 4 or 5 minutes, so let's start this up. If it's too loud, too whatever, let me know. We're not going to probably be perfect on this, but we will strive to be. So let's get it going. Give me a Y for yes and for no. Want to get it going right now? Spam it in the chat. Lick the like button. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're new, because we will do a lot of streaming. No sneak peeks. No sneak peeks just yet. All right, let's get her going then. Let's get it going. I will try my best to keep everything good for you. By the way, right before we get going, credit to NASCAR All Out. I have his channel logo at the top there above me for the upload, as well as in the chat. What do you call it? The description. Without race uploaders like NASCAR All Out and others, a lot of us would not have been able to watch these. So let's give credit where credit is due. goated channel. Thank you, Bailey, for the 5, saying, is Tony to SHR one of the biggest things to happen in NASCAR's recent memory? Because Busch and Boyer were almost on their way out, saved a few careers. I'd say so. I mean, you look at the way the NASCAR history changed because of it. I definitely think it was a huge deal. We'll talk more about that as we go. There's going to be Stuart Haas talk in a moment, but let's get it going in 3, 2, 1.
Through 70 degrees, it'll get a little warmer before we're done.
Let me know if I need to turn it up.
112, a light breeze out of the west.
Does it sound all right, or is it too quiet? Because I can turn it up a little, but the cars are going to make it louder.
55 miles per hour in the fuel window for Sunoco race fuel, 36 to 40 laps.
And you watch that 16 car, he will slice and dice his way to the front.
Okay, turn up a little bit.
Today's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything we learn making tires that face the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR.
Okay.
With the 2 cars dropping to the rear.
I can turn mine down a little bit.
That'll move Kyle Busch up to the outside of the front row and Matt Kenseth right behind Denny Hamlin. So all 3 of those fast Toyotas will be starting all right in one pack, and there Martin Truex are right.
I wanted to make sure we started good enough, you know. Oh man,
Hamlin has elected the outside lane.
Hamlin and Matt Kenseth.
Race. That is the pole sitter's prerogative.
Yeah, a lot
Kenseth
of momentum
will have a good
on that
year.
outside. Makes a lot of sense. All right, folks, come on, get up off your seat. Get up on your feet.
Spam it in the chat.
Let's go racing, boys.
3 and 4 wide mid-pack. Who is going to lead this first lap? Gibbs Racing 1, 2, 3. That's Kenseth.
God, listen to those cars.
The 11 of Hamlin and Busch way up top.
Coach Gibbs says just how I drew it up.
You're riding with Martin Truex Jr. in a 56 car, another Toyota in 4th. A Toyota has never won a Sprint Cup Series race here at Auto Club Speedway.
And all the way down on the apron were the 2 of Keselowski and the 16
God, I
of
do miss
Biffle.
this.
They have gained 8 positions.
I want a new short track, but I really miss
lap
this.
1, and they keep coming.
You know, I talked about pace in the opening, and one of the things that NASCAR and I think the teams are starting to really look at is the gear ratios that we're pulling in these cars. They may need to make an adjustment in the future because of such higher speeds and higher RPM.
You saw the speeds right there going off into turn 3, over 200 miles per hour on teammates Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. They are 2nd and 3rd. Logano 4th.
Hey, it looks awfully familiar to right above me.
Number 18.
So as we do with any of these old races, spam the number when somebody takes the lead. Go on ahead, have some fun with it. Act like it's going on right now.
But just look at the different racing groups that they already can run here, and we're not even in lap 5, especially through 1 and 2. You see the battle right here for 6. Kurt Busch in the 78 car got that top 5 at Bristol, and Mark Martin in the 55.
Man, I forgot that Kurt was in the 78 that year.
Looking for the bottom, but Martin had it covered.
It's such a one-hit wonder kind of year.
3 of them under a blanket. Earnhardt, Johnson, Kane.
Junior!
I know this is a big wide racetrack. It looks like it'd be pretty easy, but there is so much finesse in working the throttle and running the groove that your car is handling in. That's what
I think Jimmy will be pretty good this year. I think he has a good shot at hitting 7 at some point.
Jimmy Johnson, 48 and the 5 of Kane, or on the outside, like the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the 24 of Jeff Gordon.
And that could change as you get
got all 400 cars
sure
right
the track
there.
will get a little rubber on it, and the groove will move around, and you got to be willing to search around, hunt around, find where your car works best. Hamlin's going to the top.
Danica 38,
And
shocker.
right with him, Joey Logano on the bottom.
It's the way it always works.
And this is the way, if I were Joey Logano, this would thrill me to death. I would want to stay right in that 11's rearview mirror as long as I could, and maybe even pass him if I got a chance.
Or aggravate him.
It is amazing how they used to talk about Logano going into this year because of how different of a driver he was.
almost
at the time
had contact there
compared to now.
51 of
Like
Allmendinger.
Logano is rightfully talked about as one of the elite. Like back then, it was still a surprise to see him run up front.
Side of 1 and 2, and he just rockets down the back straightaway.
That outside, it's such a big sweeping turn when you're up high, and you're backing the gas so much quicker when you're high. You get a lot of speed off the corner down the straightaway.
Ambrose got a little loose, and here comes the dinger on the bottom.
God, I'm gonna miss. I miss this still.
Again, that's not unusual to see some of these cars maybe a little ill to start with. Air pressure low, everything's kind of got to come up to race pace.
Jeff, how are those two Fords doing from the back of the pack?
They're coming right now, Mike, and they're using every inch of this racetrack. First time by, the 2 car, he was already on, they were down below the apron trying to make a pass on the 16.
The other thing that I always found just distinctly 2013 is this is back when all the paint schemes, for the most part, they just fit the COT way better than they mostly fit the Gen 6. This was such an odd year looking back on it, as much as it might have been boring at times.
And Allmendinger's car a little loose there, the 51. Have a look at them as they came off turn 4.
Though I'll say I missed the Fox graphics at this time.
You see right away, A.J. Allmendinger in the 51 dives back in behind Marcus Ambrose. These cars are making a huge wake with that big spoiler on the back of them. Really easy to draft a car.
5th place. Mark Truex's Toyota.
Yeah, Harvick was still 29 at this time.
Kurt Busch.
This was his last year at RCR.
Intramural battle among the Hendrick Chevys.
You see how Casey does that sweep down into the corner? You run that late entry, turn down and get a good run down the hill into the turn.
But you see Tony Stewart there in the 14 car, started 6th. He's almost.
By the way, if you see me looking down, I'm just watching y'all in the chat.
The driver on the move, though, is that 22 car of Joey Logano. Went by Denny Hamlin for 3rd, and now he's all over the back of Kyle Busch, another former teammate, for 2nd.
Matt Kenseth, your leader by 0.7 of a second. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Wonder if they're gonna have like that. Nope. Should, seeing how you guys can barely see, how about we skip ahead a little bit? Preferably not. Yeah, let's skip ahead the commercials at least.
The pole sitter,
There you go.
Joe Gibbs Toyota, has slipped to
You ain't gonna
4
see
3.5
anything when it
seconds
goes side
on
by
pace
side
here
because of
are
how
the
small the
Toyota
cameras are.
performers.
Sorry, I'm not gonna
Third place
chance
for
any of the
Joey
commercial
Logano's
stuff
Ford.
just because a lot of them
This is
use old
interesting.
songs.
I like this. Hello. Remember me?
Casey Kane, Carl Edwards.
And you can spam 18 because Kyle Busch took the lead. Yeah, I'm not showing a bunch of ads.
Yeah, he said that uniform.
We already
still
watch
smelled
enough
like
ads as
champagne.
NASCAR
He liked
fans.
that. He didn't even wash it.
They're racing for 14th. Carl is on the list of biggest movers in the first 12 laps. Now, no surprise that Keselowski and Biffle from the tail end of the field have each gained 12.5 or more spots, but Edwards +8.
You know, you saw Jeff Gordon. Look at these two right here, though. Joey Logano in at 22 and Denny Hamlin in 11. And of course, you guys talked about it in the pre-race. Go back to Bristol. Denny Hamlin's running 3rd. Joey Logano's running 2nd. Denny Hamlin.
Oh, thank you, Steven. I appreciate it.
His former teammate in turn 2 late in the race.
I'll let Riss know
The
too.
longer they run
She'll
together
appreciate
like
it.
This, the less that feud becomes. Because there's a point in there when you start saying, okay, you're not going to
So,
do anything to me.
for
I'm
those
not
who
gonna do
don't
anything to you.
know,
Let's just be a couple of smart race car drivers here. We got a long way
These
to go.
two had an issue at Bristol, I think, the week
Martinsville in
before.
2 weeks on the half mile. Different story.
I'll be waiting for you.
Joey Logano's owner, Roger Penske, said this week, I'm okay for Joey Logano standing up for himself, but I want both of my drivers to remember the big picture.
I know a lot know that, but I know
is-
there's a lot of people
This
who...
is the way you let
Oh,
a guy
no,
know
Last
that you're
Row Joe.
not happy with him. You hit the nail.
Can you hear
This is
how
what
much
I used-
I'm
you aggravate a guy.
concerned?
you just do everything you can to say, is he going to hit me or not? I think he scraped him right there.
That couldn't have got much closer.
And that's the doubt you want Denny Hamlin to have in his mind. Kind of like Clint Eastwood standing over.
Funny enough, Logano, I think, races about the same today. But yeah, for those who might not have known, I want to just let you know.
It just takes a little touch.
I know, again, it's been about 11, 12 years.
That's right. Have I fired 5 or have I fired 6?
They're 4.5 seconds behind Kyle Busch, the race leader, who is up 2 on Matt Kenseth, and
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Keselowski, 18th place right here.
I guarantee you at 15, I was a very grumpy Dale Jr. fan watching him fall back early in this race. I was certainly a delusional Dale Jr. fan at the time.
Yeah, they had made a practice qualifying run. Practice was over, and they looked at the data and saw where it lost oil pressure, checked one of the filters in the oiling system and saw metal, had to change the engine. So no matter when you change an engine, if you have to, during the course of the weekend, you go to the rear of the field.
You know, Larry, one thing we're going to hear before this day is over with is I think I scraped the wall, because they're riding the wall around here like we're Darlington. And you're going to get into that wall every now and then. Trust me.
Kurt Busch just ahead of Clint Boyer. Boyer in 6th after starting 11th, Steve.
Mike, we're starting to hear feedback from the drivers now. Clint Boyer saying, my car is loose on entry into the corners.
Well, this is definitely the hottest day that we've had all weekend. I mean, it's been nice here, but this is the hottest. The other thing the drivers are not having to deal with today that they had the first 2 days, the wind's not blowing like it was.
Yeah, it's pretty calm out there right now, at least wind-wise.
Identical appearing but unrelated cars of Kyle Busch and Mike Bliss.
Steven, he's doing his own thing right now.
His number 19.
He has another job when he moved back home to Vegas, so he's all good.
Number 18. Both Toyotas.
I lost to him in fantasy, I think, a few weeks ago.
2.4 second lead over this man, Matt Kenseth. Oh boy, what a fantastic start to the season.
Does front row get a win this
place
year?
Changes hands. Clint Boyer.
I think Talladega in April is a great opportunity. It might be. Those Fords are pretty darn good.
He's always fast, one of the faster cars.
I love how we can say that for today and then.
Going for 12th against Tony Stewart after passing Montoya. Harvick passing Logano. That's for 6th place.
How many people in this race are still around today?
Yesterday's winner here, Kyle Busch.
We've had 2 commercial breaks in 18 laps.
You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
The Auto Club 400.
Denny Hamlin 2013. I don't usually see him because he's usually not a factor. 2024, Logano 3 championships, Hamlin 0. Oh man, that aged like milk.
After 22 green flag laps, let's have an inside look at what's happening in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, brought to you by Sprint. Brad Keselowski up 28 positions for where he had to start in the back due to the engine change, is the biggest mover so far. Get unlimited access to NASCAR with the NASCAR Mobile 13 app and truly unlimited data from Sprint. Learn more at sprint.com/speed.
Say the way Brad Keselowski is picking them up and laying them down right now, we're probably about 14 to 15 laps from green flag stops. He'd love to see this run out as a green flag run.
Yeah, I think so, Larry.
One change in the top 5. Kevin Harvick is the new 5th place car behind Busch, Kenseth, Hamlin, and Boyer. Kurt Busch back to 6th. Took 17 laps for Keselowski and Biffle to make
I'd
it
watch
from
2016,
second and
but
into the top
basically 2013 on back is safe and the rest aren't. You can maybe do 2014 races, but anything of the current TV deal, you get dinged on for watching live. Trust me, I'd like to watch any races the last 10 years, but we're unfortunately we would get nuked from YouTube on the stream at least.
9th place, Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson.
Going good, Steve-O. Going good.
To battle in the top 10.
Yeah,
good to have you in here.
The fastest car in our second practice yesterday. We got a battle here between teammates. Going to slide right up in front of Matt Kenseth. That's teammates working together.
11 strong today, man.
They trail Kyle Busch.
2008 Daytona. I'll write that one down.
Danica Patrick 34th after starting 38th.
That might be one for Speed Weeks next year. We're going to do a big hype up for Daytona next year.
Challenge for Danica Patrick on the schedule from the time they unloaded. She's been fighting a very tight race car up top, or when she tries to migrate down to the
Counting Jimmy 8.
right now in the center of the racetrack. Her biggest
It's amazing how much it's
hindrance
changed.
so far has been UW talked about it on Saturday. So many options here to move your race car around depending on how it reacts. But when you're new to a place, having too many options can be a problem, and that's been what she's been struggling with most so far this weekend.
So people don't remember, Danica in the Fox portion of the year basically got coverage non-stop during races. One way or another, they would shove Danica into it. I've been rewatching this season.
Right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. so loose in and off the corners. He just came on the radio a few laps ago and said, I am sideways off the turn.
It appears that the extra temperature that we have today, this track has a lot less grip, and a lot of drivers are fighting loose, the back end coming around.
You can hear it in the 88.
Daily watching 2009 Speed Weeks take me back. Vody, shout out to Vody, man. Amazing stuff and quality put out. This was Danica's first full Cup season, so.
I can't really tell you until I go back up there before we come in to tell you what I got. You know what I mean?
He puts a lap on Josh Wise from nearby Riverside, who had a great career in midgets and on
Oh
the
my
short
God,
tracks
another
of
commercial
Southern
break.
California before moving
Are you
up to
kidding?
sprint
Come
car.
on. I guess some things never change. And we missed a
29
caution.
laps complete. David Stremme has spun his Swan Racing Toyota, and that puts us under the first caution of the day. The pace car has gathered up the field. Pit
Some
road
things
is
never
open,
change.
And Kyle Busch leads them in. Steve Burns.
Matt Kenseth is saying that he has lost some rear grip on his number 20 car. He said,
Kyle's
"I've lost
interstate
it on
battery
entry,
scheme
I've
will
lost
always
it
be my
on
favorite.
exit,
Thanks for
and just a little snug
318.
in the center."
It was a
More
good one.
tires,
I never
Kristen.
got when I went to the zebra.
Kurt Busch having a great time in the race car right now, except for it being, like a lot of guys, a little bit loose. They're going to tighten it up with a track bar adjustment. You'll see him go down 2 rounds, Matt.
And the teammates,
Even the
Kyle
pit
Busch and
stops
Denny
make
Hamlin,
me
they're coming to a
nostalgic.
stop. Kyle said that we wanted a slight air pressure change in the right front, no chassis adjustments though for the 18. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin, he said he really needed to have his car tightened up, especially on entry, because it was just not good cutting through the center of the corner.
Kyle leads the parade off pit road, followed by Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. So we're 30 laps of 200 in. Kyle Busch has led 20, Matt Kenseth 10.
Another commercial?
The Auto Club 400
Close
presented
enough.
by Coca-Cola is sponsored by the Auto Club. We're always with you. By
Chris
Chevy
Myers.
Silverado, the one you depend on, the one that lasts. And by
We could
Coca-Cola,
because we
the
care.
official soft drink of NASCAR. Coca-Cola, open happiness.
We're under caution, Darrell. Let's see what happened to David Stremme here.
He just gets up. He's up in the high lane, actually, and looks like the car comes around. I thought he had a right rear tire down, but I'm really not sure. It doesn't look like it from that angle.
If I'm not
The caution
mistaken,
is a break for Josh Wise. He gets the free pass. Gets back on the
Swan
lead lap.
Racing, I think, had some backing from the rapper 50 Cent.
During most of the last century, this land in Fontana was the site of the Kaiser Steel plant. They made the infrastructure for World War II Liberty ships here. And when the steel mill was decommissioned, the EPA labeled it a brownfield site, unsuitable
I'm probably
for
going to get
most
dinged
major
one way or
development.
another on this stream.
Roger Penske bought the
Paradox
land,
with 5.
and
I
with
think
Les
people
Richter,
forget
built
Hamlin
Auto Club
wrecked
Speedway.
Logano last
Here in
week
Southern
when he didn't move
California,
over
where Kyle
Gordon,
Busch is
or he
the
didn't
leader,
move
the
Gordon.
first of 35 cars
It's going to be
on
interesting
the
how
lead
that
lap.
adds into the
Three
rest of
different
the
leaders, including Travis
race
Butler,
leading
this caution period,
the rest of this
which
race
has
and the rest of
lasted
the year.
for 4 laps. So Josh Wise from Riverside is your Aaron's lucky dog. You don't need credit. All you need is Aaron's.
Oh my!
And
We
we're
still had
ready
the
to go
Aaron's
back to
lucky
green.
dog at this point.
You saw in our graphic when these drivers left pit road, looked like the real loser was Matt Kenseth in that 20 car. He's in that first pit box coming in, but lost a couple of spots.
Kenseth will
All right,
restart
spam
sixth.
green when we go green here, y'all. Let's see it. Let's see green all over that chat.
3 Toyotas, a Chevy, and a Ford in the top 5. Green flag.
We talked about it at the top of the show. Restarts can be mighty exciting here.
Those guys back. Ooh.
Whoa!
go. Kurt Busch way to the bottom.
That's one of those skews.
Even today,
of course, you see
still gets me all
That was lane 0
worried.
down there.
But just like everywhere else, with the exception of Daytona and Talladega, no out of bounds below that white line.
No light golden night. We're all good. Take it all easy. Just chill out. Chill with us today.
That team has really found its legs here lately.
A lot of jostling through the field.
Holy cow, they're in the grass. Almost.
But somehow they tend to squeeze out of turn 4. Single file for the most part. Logano side by side with Kenseth in the 20, who may have brushed the wall coming off turn 4. That's the first side.
I always thought Kenseth's car with that orange back that has the gradient always reminded me of candy corn. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't really look like it, but it's always reminded me of it. How would I rate Brad K's 2013 scheme? I'd agree. I think it is underrated. You know, I think it would fit probably.
He goes, and then
I don't know if it's as good as the white one, but I like it. It's just, I think that with him not doing the greatest, you know, they always have to rebrand schemes each year, and I would have loved to see that one last a little longer. Did they still do lead lap bonus points in 2013? I don't know when that changed. Yes, they did.
That caused almost a big mess.
I do. I prefer the 2012 car as well.
Just as simple as Hamlin shifting gears, losing his acceleration as he goes to high gear.
Yeah, you know, possibly. You just don't know, Mike, but there's a lot of games being played. There's a lot of gamesmanship on these restarts right now, and I know NASCAR is looking at that pretty closely.
Yeah, so far this is looking like a Gibbs lockout.
Just a split second before that move happened, Kurt Busch came on the radio and said, whoa, they're pushing down here, but the crew is fired up. When they saw Kurt make that move and not give an inch.
Yeah, what's the AI saying in the chat?
Their pit box, everyone up against the wall cheering him on.
That's not good.
Uh-oh. Timmy Hill goes kaboom.
Timmy!
That is Frank Stoddard's car. At number 32 Ford, with Hill making his first start of the season. And just moments ago,
Tony's 2008 Home Depot car is underrated, in my
and this
opinion.
What happens at this racetrack.
That's what nobody remembers.
You see Biffle, he gets into the
I have
back of
that
Jeff
one.
Gordon in the
It's somewhere. I have a little
you
164 of that.
out here and you run so fast, you run out of racetrack. If somebody's alongside of you, sometimes you can't help but get into them.
Kyle Busch leads him to the caution flag.
You know what this is perfect time for? Commercials.
As Timmy Hill has problems under the hood of his.
Don't worry, I disabled ads popping up, so if it does, it's YouTube doing it, not me. I'm not going to add that to the joke. YouTube might hear me say that and be like, perfect.
36 drivers on the lead lap. I think most everybody up in the, say, the top 20 will stay out, but I'd say some of these drivers that are at the back of the lead lap cars, they'll hit pit road more adjustments.
The 78 car has got quite a bit of damage to the right side of it. I don't know when that happened, but he's got damage on the right side. 78 of Kurt Busch.
We're riding with Clint Boyer.
That ain't good. Mean to tell me that Fox actually was able to get the replays?
Clint got up there into the wall. That's Kurt Busch behind him.
That was a pretty hard lick.
It surely sounded like it, Larry. I don't know. It's on the straightaway. Sometimes it's puzzling.
I'd agree. 2013 is definitely when it fell off just a little bit.
Rogers that after he drove over Timmy Hill's oil, and all of a sudden the car started to get very loud inside the cockpit, so he's not really sure what could be going on with his 18 machine right now. He continues talking to Dave.
That's probably what happened to Clint Boyer, obviously, in the 15 car, the same thing.
Well, the 78's got damage on the right side as well. I saw that when he went by, so I'm not sure. There's a lot of action on that back straightaway.
Kind of happened in that same area.
Yeah, I think so.
J.J. Yates, number 36, will get the free pass. Boyer and Kurt Busch are among those coming to pit road for repairs. Steve?
Clint Boyer into his pit box. Kind of surprised they're in, Mike, but just the call here, 4 tires and
what happened to the mole cam or digger cam?
Krista.
I think they might have it at a few tracks, but in general, it's probably a cost-cutting deal.
Were pancakes on a scale of 1 to 10. The hit was about a 5. The front end, though, looks good. Matt?
And what a huge move by Brad Keselowski at the back. He hit road in the 10th position, 4 tires for him, and they really didn't really make any adjustments on the Blue Deuce because he was back in traffic. The balance was good. He wanted to wait for maybe another stop before they make any more adjustments, the 2.
Based on what I'm seeing there, you see Casey Kane here in the 5. We're watching Mark Martin in the 55, Clint Boyer. It looks like a lot of drivers maybe hit that oil and got into that wall.
They did, Larry. A number of cars with right side damage.
Yeah, they're all pulling on that right front fender, trying to get it away from the tire. You see them using a baseball bat to pry the fender away from the tire on Mark Martin's car. So
thank you for your service. I see Steve-O saying deployed to Afghanistan for most of 13 season. Crazy times. Well, thank you.
I'm Miss Spring Cup, and you're watching the NASCAR Spring Cup Series on Fox.
I miss Sprint, too.
40 laps in under our second caution of the Auto Club 400. Time for an AT&T race break, brought to you by the nation's largest 4G LTE network, AT&T Rethink Possible. Timmy Hill in the 32 Oxy Water car has problems, and the oil brings the caution out. And check out the cars, Michael, going against the wall.
Yeah, you can see our first 2 guys, Kyle and Denny, weren't up high.
How has a meme not got made out of the cars just popping the wall?
Followed by Kurt Busch behind him.
Like the Taco Bell,
there goes our
bell going off each time one of them hits it.
Brad Keselowski into the wall. Look at Mark Martin, Casey Kane. All these guys were running high on the track, Chris, and they hit that oil, and they didn't have any idea that it was there.
Casey Kane trying to win back-to-back races for the first time in his career. So is it a matter of where you were, wrong place, wrong time? Why could people at home say, hey, just steer away from it?
Yeah, they were running 200 miles an hour, by the way, when they got near that area, and the oil was up high right where some of the guys' grooves were. I guarantee you Clint Boyer was shocked when his car shot into that outside wall. Had no idea why that would happen.
The repairs going on, and certainly we had Brad Keselowski talk about coming into the race, side drafting, side-by-side racing with the kind of repairs going on those cars. We counted 7 or 8 of them, and you just saw some headline drivers.
What really don't want to listen too much to Mikey, so we're going to go ahead a little bit.
Yes.
Top laps. Only had 3 laps on the tires
there.
Since
this should be good.
Last restart.
But that just shows you how unpredictable racing can be. You know, another guy's problems creates problems for you, and you just can't ever predict that.
And creates opportunity.
There, we should be going green here.
Kyle Busch is again
Bodie is the GOAT. I agree.
The Toyota Camry pace car goes to pit road. His teammate Denny Hamlin alongside. Hamlin's nemesis Joey Logano in row number 2. There's the restart box that's in that area. Kyle Busch has to hit the gas and go. And here's Logano.
Oh my God, this was before all the restart controversies too, I believe. Or at least during around that time.
He's going down on the bottom in turn 1.
God, man, that's close.
Harvick up the outside, past Hamlin. Logano on the inside. He comes like a rocket out of turn 2.
He's got to run down that back straightaway. Well, we've watched Joey Logano all weekend long, and he has been fast. But I tell you, Kevin Harvick in that 29, he's wanting a little bit of this action.
Logano trying to become the 3rd driver to lead under the green flag today. It's a dead heat as they come off turn 4. It's Busch at the line.
For Kyle Busch, that's about as bad a situation arrow-wise you can be in. You got a car to your left, you got a car down right behind you. Really,
I wonder, y'all gonna spam 22s? This kid Logano just took the lead. I'm sure everyone's happy about that.
Let's ride with Logano on the restart. He has the lead now for the first time today. Coming to green.
You heard that wheel spin.
Kyle wasn't going to give him the outside. But he had no reluctance, Darrell, slicing to the bottom right across the bow of Denny Hamlin.
No, he didn't. I think you see he's leading the race now. I think he knew this is my time. I got to go now.
Trouble continues for Casey Kane. It's a whole windshield tear-off, it looks like.
Oh, jeez.
That is covering about half of the grill opening on his car.
Came off somebody's car up in front of him, and they normally put several layers on the windshield, and they'll just
I don't know why, but that is comically funny to me. Like, that is just really funny to me.
Got up behind A.J. Allmendinger in that 51. that changed the air pressure on the nose of that car and basically sucked that tear-off off.
Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart fight for 9th behind Martin Truex and ahead of Carl Edwards. Nice drive for rookie Ricky Stenhouse leading this pack in his Roush Fenway Ford.
I didn't even notice he was in the top 10.
29th.
Kid's doing a really nice job. I mean, he's just keeping his nose clean, and he and his team have really done a nice job.
Okay, he comes in here 11th in the points. He's completed every single lap of the first 4 races this year.
Which for Stenhouse, that's an accomplishment.
On the bottom, Krista.
Martin Truex Jr. started off this race tight in the center and snappy loose off so bad so he said back on lap 27 he was, quote, struggling, but he's been able to get the adjustments
Where's
made
Larson
on the
at?
car. Right now just a little bit loose in. He's moving up through the pack.
Second place.
We'll have to find out.
Well, Toyota's battle, Matt.
Mike Bush had his teammate Denny Hamlin pull up
Hey, Junior
alongside
top 10.
under that last caution, look at both the right and left sides of his car just to check and see if maybe a crush panel in the wheel well area might have been knocked loose. Denny did say those look fine, but part of the rocker panel near the back had started to peel back, but they said it should not be an issue at all. It won't even need to put bear bond on it.
That 18 car, once he can get to the top, I mean, rim riding the top, that's his groove, man. He can make some pretty good time up there.
Just look at the 4 different grooves the 3 Joe Gibbs drivers and Kevin Harvick are running through 3 and 4.
That's 4 grooves.
I'd say this is right at the start.
Freeway
Definitely right at the start of Roush's downfall.
That's that run that Kyle gets off of
at least performance-wise. They were falling off in team numbers for a while.
He's able to make a pass.
Harvick trying to work his way through the middle. In 2 weeks, something completely different. The paperclip-shaped half-mile Martinsville Speedway.
Remember when they'd actually show races on Big Fox?
Steve?
Instead of FS1?
An update on Kevin Harvick. You see Matt Kenseth go by him. On the last pit stop on lap 30, they made no adjustment to that 29 car. It is a brand-new race car for Kevin Harvick. Crew Chief Gil Martin said Kevin really liked it in both practices yesterday.
Thanks, Steve. And here's Dale Earnhardt Jr., Krista. He's
the true junior.
Into the top 10.
There we go.
Right now he's getting cheerleading from his
206.7. 207 entering turn 1. Oh, it's beautiful.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. able to add some wedge on that last stop, and that is helping the handling immensely.
And he was one of the 15 drivers that elected to stay out on that last caution. We knew he fell back, but based on what Krista just said, sounds like the adjustments are going the right direction for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
He stayed out from 19th. And here's Joey Logano, your leader now by 2.5 seconds. Ford leading 3 Toyotas and Harvick's Chevrolet.
Trek Bar, are you helping me? I like that.
You know, there's a lot of
Good
people that say
callback.
that Joey Logano is a different guy this year, changing teams, going over with Penske. It's really made a difference in his attitude, and right now his driving style looks pretty good too.
And I'd say he's liking looking out that rearview mirror and seeing 3 Joe Gibbs drivers.
A lot of lanes to race on, to pass, or to block. We're at quarter distance in California.
Oh, Marcus. How I miss Marcus Ambrose.
The Auto Club 400, presented by Coca-Cola, is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds.
54 laps complete. Enter for a chance to win an all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado LTZ, a VIP Chevy racing experience for 2, and a meet and greet with Chevy driver Tony
Something
Stewart.
makes me think this contest has expired a little while ago.
Stewart restarted 16th. He was the first driver to come off pit road under the second caution, and he's marched up into the top 5.
You want to see what elbows up look like? There you are right there. He is working. That's as hard
The
as I've
size
seen
of that
Tony
wheel
Stewart
is
working a race car
giant.
in a long time, but he is really running well right
Sheesh.
now. But that's just how hard he's working in that race car.
Matt?
he told me earlier this morning at driver intros, Mike, that they've had good race cars this year, involved in a couple of crashes, but this is going to be one of those places where they can see where their program is definitely headed due to the fact he's won here the past couple of times. Stewart took 2 tires in that last stop. He said his car was just too tight in the center, but that was manageable, but it was definitely free on exit.
Now, you can just tell he's pretty guarded. I mean, he's on top of the wheel in case that thing does something he doesn't expect, unexpected.
Brad Keselowski, defending series champ and our point leader in the number 2. He has come from the back, as we've documented. He also pitted at lap 38 and has come up to 12th.
He's trying to accomplish something that's not been accomplished since 1995, and that's where the champion going into
I know,
the
Tony's
next
so
season
loyal to
scored
Chevrolet.
5 consecutive top 5s. Dale Earnhardt Jr. did it after winning the championship in 1994. Dale Earnhardt Sr.
I was about to say, Larry.
It still fascinates me when people say, why would they have made the change to a different manufacturer?
He wanted that young.
But the results are speaking for themselves. And I always say this, I give a lot of credit to Roger Penske. He's a visionary. He saw what they needed to do to make their team better. And Brad is his man. They get along really, really well. And he listened to Brad a lot.
Penske Racing has 2 victories here at Auto Club Speedway. Both came with Fords before they went to Dodge. And Dodge wants back in the sport. Their management, their dealers, they want to be here. But when Penske made the decision early last year to change to Ford for 2013, the Dodge
this
folks
is a cool
felt
camera.
they were unable to sign a top quality team to continue, so they're taking some time off. I think they'll be back.
There goes Tony Stewart around.
Bailey with the 5. I wonder how Tony's season goes if he doesn't get hurt. This year, this is the year hurt his back.
Jamie McMurray started 15th today, and Steve,
he was borderline this season. Wasn't great, but it was like borderline, I would say, if I remember right.
Jamie replied 10-4. Thank you. Got to tell you, though, the car's gotten too loose for me right now.
It just appears the change that they made during the offseason, going to the Hendrick engine package, it has brought
Dodge should be back soon. Yeah, totally. It's only a stopgap year, right?
With an engine manufacturer like Hendrick, you don't just get engines. They want to make sure that when they put that engine in your race car, it runs as you get the most out of it you can. That even includes helping you with your car.
Casey Kane and teammate Jimmy Johnson for 13th behind Clint Boyer. And here comes the Biff. You got to admire these drivers in
Get
general.
stiff for the Biff.
Biffle in particular. He had a top 3 lap in the first practice. They lost an engine after 6 laps on the track, put a new bullet in it, and said, Greg, there's 5 minutes left in practice. Do your best. Wham! Flat out and right back up into the top 5. Seen it do it before when they had problems before qualifying. Greg, here's a car you've never driven. Hop in it and go get us a good qualifying lap. Bam! This guy's a wheel.
Oh, he is. I remember when he used to run the Nationwide Series, he would go to racetracks.
Oh, my God, it was still Nationwide back then.
He hadn't been there for practice. He hadn't been there for anything. He'd get in the car and go sit on the pole. Or he'd get in the car and start the rear and win the race. I'm serious when I tell you, he is a wheel man.
Yes, sir. All right, 1 spot in front of him. You're looking back at Biffle from Jimmy Johnson in 14th, Matt.
And, Mike, you see Jimmy Johnson diving back down to the bottom. During the first 30 laps, that's where he was competing most of the time, and his car was impressive. But now he says the car has just gotten too tight through the center, and he just cannot get back in the gas. The back of the race car.
The 16 and the 48 side by side at a 2-mile oval in 2013. I wonder if that'll be a theme this year.
Did that car just step out, or did Greg Biffle give him a little help?
Well, let's take a look here and see. Biffle's down on the apron, got a great run up off the corner. Jimmy's just a little bit loose. That is an area that this race car seems to be very sensitive to. When you get right along that left rear quarter panel, we saw it at Daytona. We saw it there. Really makes the car move around.
Jimmy Johnson in that 48, he's definitely been falling back, and he's probably going to be on pit road here in about 4 to 6 laps for a green flag stop.
Which means it's time for a commercial.
Leads the Auto Club 400.
The Auto Club 400,
all right, commercial over.
Presented by Coca-Cola is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. By KFC. Come in today and taste why fresh is better. And by AT&T. Rethink possible.
Rethink possible.
Chris Meyer is back here trackside. Jeff Hammond hanging out.
See, this is where you can see, like Fox always said their goofiness, but this is where you can see it was starting to take a little more hold in the broadcast than it used to, like before this.
Hanging around. Time for the Coca-Cola race summary here, and the 22 car, the 22-year-old in the Auto Club car, Joey
I agree,
Logano.
KFC's disgusting.
So far, the leader here, cars on the lead lap.
Much better chicken you can have.
With cautions that have covered 9 laps. That oil on the track, hitting some of the big drivers as they scrape the wall.
Oh, pitting.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the Hendrick cars today. Not a whole lot of success. In fact, Jeff Gordon moments ago dropping back in the field. Some debate on whether or not he should pit in this race. But Joey Logano, let's check in first with Chris Devoto.
Well, Chris, right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. saying the handling of his car is neutral. He is enjoying it. It's a new jack man jacking this car. Andrew Childers filling in for Nick Covey. Nick Covey expecting a baby at home.
Some pitted there.
Good for him.
Race leader Joey Logano comes to pit road. Almirola's in, so is Burt. Martin Truex earlier, and Ambrose has made his green flag pit stop. David Gilliland, another local driver. With California roots getting service, Jamie Mack. Steve.
JB McMurray on pit road, and again, 4 tires for him. His car had gotten
I love
loose.
everyone doing quicker math than I want to do right now.
Get the car to turn in the center. Matt.
And Joey Logano is in. The team going to work on the left side of the car. Joey needed more help on exit, more security. They made
nice. Good point. Nice.
To this stop.
It is nice out of 200 laps.
On the last stop, no changes. The car, if anything, was a tick on the tight side, but he felt like they dodged a huge bullet. If he'd been up in the high line, Krista, and he hit that oil, he said he definitely would have been in the fence.
Well, I'll tell you, when these guys put on tires, there's almost 3 seconds difference in their lap times.
Yeah, once Joey Logano hit pit road, our race leader before this, Matt, the rest couldn't be far behind.
Absolutely, Larry Mack, and they're already going to work on the left
Where
side
is the stage yellow? What are stages? This is 2013. I don't know the stage thing you're talking about.
So much more grip. Some air pressure changes. Meanwhile, his teammate Bennett, he's on pit road as well. Hamlin said that his car wasn't bad on entry, just needed to turn better.
This has handed the lead to Kevin Harvick, and now Tony Stewart picks up the lead as we cycle through green flag pit stops. Steve,
I'll tell you what, Mike, this 29 car is so good. They've made no adjustments to it from the drop of the green flag, the exception of 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Now, meanwhile, Carl Edwards on pit road, he's been battling a loose race car. He said we only fixed half of what we need on the last stop. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and an air pressure adjustment.
Yeah, I miss when FedEx did the different colored schemes.
Busch, the 78 was too fast entering pit road. He exceeded the I can't drive 55 speed limit plus the 4.99.
It reminds me of that commercial with Sammy Hagar, where Michael Waltrip's like, "Can you turn it down a bit?" And he just goes, "Can you drive a little faster?"
14 on the left side of your screen. He has not made that green flag stop. He's leading the race, gets that point for leading. But as Darrell pointed out, he has given up so much time right now to those drivers that
1 bonus point.
laps ago.
So it doesn't much matter that Stewart.
Hey chat, Y for yes, N for no. Should NASCAR bring back bonus points for leading laps?
The speeding police have nabbed Kevin Harvick.
Well, this is the easy
Fast
racetrack.
exiting.
Entering and exiting these pits here is one of the easiest to do it on. You come down pit road, you get off of the track at such a high rate of speed, it's so hard to get wound up by that commitment line.
But we've been seeing this all year long. Drivers like Kyle Busch the last 2 races just trying to get all they can getting on and off pit road.
Stewart's last lap 42.15.
Yep.
And Kyle Busch's last lap 40.
I like thinking, Peter.
That's almost 2 seconds.
Well, just look at Matt Kenseth in the 20 car drive by him. It almost looks like Tony's down a cylinder, and it's simply just a lack of grip in those tires.
Yeah, and you got to wonder about their game plan here. Now, you know, do we stretch the fuel out here? Or what are we trying to do?
Hey, Danica top 10. Hang the banner. Top 10 in a fuel mileage run.
That would have to be it, Darrell. He doesn't need fuel, but he could use some tires.
But it could build up an advantage if he can go this much further than everybody else over the long haul.
When Stewart's pit, When he pits on the left side of your screen, that could be the battle for the lead. Joey Logano's Ford against Kyle Busch's Toyota.
Well, what I'm also seeing is Matt Borland and Ryan
Thank you,
Newman,
CJ.
Tony Stewart's teammate in that 39 car. They're running second right now. In fact, they just hit pit road, so they were on the same agenda essentially as Tony Stewart and his team.
So different fuel stop strategies. Krista.
And Ryan Newman has had a tough race so far. They needed to make an adjustment back on lap 37. They went the wrong way on that adjustment, so he's been dealing with a race car that is even more ill-handling than it was to start. Right now, the call for 4 tires and more adjustments to give him that stability back.
And that seems to be the plan for all 3 Stewart-Haas cars. Because Newman just pitted, Tony Stewart and Danica Patrick are all still out on the racetrack.
And you know, back in the day, if the caution came out, there would only be 10 drivers on the lead lap. It'd be a beautiful thing. But with all the different rules
Tony's
we
pitting.
have now with the wave around, it's pretty much all for naught. I don't understand this
No,
strategy.
them boys crab walking.
You saw Tony's equivalent of,
yeah, you don't get that
NASCAR
much
style
anymore.
turn signal.
Remember I think it was 2008, Sam Hornish in the All-Star race had something with that.
But I think I do understand it.
Bailey
I believe
with the 2 saying, think we get the famous debris caution?
Is huge.
I bet we can get at least one of those.
Kyle Busch, when he comes around, will take the lead.
You know, it's getting too spread out. People might get bored.
Stewart.
We need to throw debris out there. Debris caution.
And Steve Addington calling Tony into his box. Now on their last stop, they made a chassis adjustment besides.
Right, there you go, chat. Kyle Busch retakes the lead.
Big headway on that
Spam 18 for KFB.
Another slight adjustment to try to keep the car heading in that right direction. Locks on, he's away.
Kyle Busch, who's led 70% of the laps raced here in the last 2 years, is out in front of Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin.
Why is there an
Dale
8?
Earnhardt
8
Jr.,
car hasn't been on the track since 09.
The Auto Club 400 is presented by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of NASCAR. Coca-Cola, open happiness.
79 laps complete under green. Kyle Busch leading Joey Logano. Here's today's Ford EcoBoost track facts. Ford has 10 Cup wins at Auto Club Speedway, and that is second among all manufacturers. Matt Kenseth won here from 31st in the spring of 2006, the furthest back in the field that a winner has started here.
I remember that race in 06 because 2 of the lead guys had engine issues in it.
Kyle Busch to Joey Logano. Then Hamlin, Earnhardt, and Kenseth are the top 5. Danica Patrick has now made her pit stop, and that means all the Stewart-Haas cars have been to pit road under this sequence.
I like what I'm seeing out of that 22 car, Larry. He can run the bottom. Yeah. And he really closes the gap on the 18 car, Kyle Busch. When he dives that thing to the bottom, he really, really makes up a lot of time.
So after that pit stop, Tony Stewart now stands 6th. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Catch up with Steve Addington. He's talking to Tony getting
Oh,
lap
I
time.
do remember that.
So explain your strategy early on in this race, pit wide.
Well, we had that caution and came and got right sides and topped off, so we were in a different window. Cross our fingers, this thing goes back green. I think we're in a window to make it to the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because they ran about 37 or 38 laps, which was right in the Sunoco fuel window that we talked about at the top of the show.
God, that's a good camera. They should definitely use that more in the future. In any way.
You have to pit at 162, 124, and lap 86. They pitted at lap 75. I don't see the numbers working.
Jeff
but if they get
Burton
a
retiring
caution,
at the end of
it's all for naught
2013.
anyhow.
That's interesting.
Well,
He's been off a couple years, but
improve it as they go along.
can always turn it around. He's a good driver still.
Pace is slowing down, so that
is
improves
slower.
fuel mileage.
So we'll see. Got to fight here for the lead, boy. That 22 down here in 3 and 4 can get around the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, that Logano kid's been pretty good this year.
Get up there this time.
Boy, but Busch has the run off the corner and clears him.
That momentum off the high side of that corner really gives the 18 car Kyle Busch a lot of straightaway speed, but Logano.
Man, I wish I could have been at this track in person. I had a chance in 2020, but I just couldn't
really closes,
pull it off.
Then it's a drag race up off the corner.
But that kid is fired up this year, Darrell. We got to remember he's only 22, but he's a 4-year veteran of the Sprint Cup Series. And I think this is the Joey Logano we've been looking for, the one that finished off that race at Bristol and got a good finish out of it after his car had been in the wall, and the one that's running hard for the lead here.
Yeah, I talked to Brad Keselowski, his teammate, and Brad said one of the things early on, one of the things they were really focusing on was getting this 22 car to run like the 2 has been. The 2 had a little advantage early on, but they've made some great improvements with that team, that 22 car.
Who knows? Wonder if they'll ever bring the 12 back.
This is
Full-time
exactly what Joey Logano needed, a breath of fresh air. He'd been at Joe Gibbs Racing for 4 years. Just look at one, we know he went in there a year too soon, but there was no choice when Tony Stewart left. You go back a couple years ago, he had to live with the whole season not knowing if Greg Zipadelli was staying or leaving, and was Carl Edwards taking his ride. And then he lived last year with Matt Kenseth coming to that ride basically half the season. So it's always been disjointed over there.
Apparently his teammates didn't like him too much either.
I would really like Joey Logano.
Welcome back to Auto Club Speedway, where the crowd and the bill of fare is quite varied.
Yeah, there's a lot of cholesterol.
A lot of different cultures here in Southern
That was
California.
really freaking good, though.
And they all seem to play here. I went over to Roger Penske's Audi dealership to look at a car yesterday. The salesman was from Sri Lanka, and he was an Earnhardt fan. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Detail.
Do it for Dale.
You look at the crowd here today. I know walking around behind the grandstand yesterday and even this morning, the most people I've seen here in quite some time. A beautiful crowd today.
Having a look at the 2 leaders, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. We've been talking about splitters.
Yellow's out. Debris down the back.
Debris! We have debris!
Out, as we'll take a close look at Joey Logano's car. Caution is for debris in the back straightaway. Look at the front splitter right there, just dragging the ground at the very front of that race car.
And you see it right there, and you see part of it gone right there. We've talked about these cars bottoming out on the back straightaway, especially getting off into turn 3.
Drink a shot of your favorite liquor. We have a debris yellow in NASCAR back in 2013.
Which helps the front tires grip. Now, Michael, do you think this
yeah,
is
do
gonna
they
be
show
an
the
issue for Joey
debris?
Logano?
Oh, it definitely is, Larry.
Chat, because I don't even remember. Y for yes, N for no. Do we show the debris?
The lower you run the car, the faster it'll go. I was talking to several drivers. They said, I'm dragging the ground and I'm hauling. We get it up off the road and I can't go as fast. But the problem is that splitter that we see there on Brad Keselowski's car, very thin at the front fender. It's worn away on the 22 car of Joey Logano, and that will hurt him. Remember, if you're leading this race, and you can see Kyle's losing his as well. If you're leading this
bouncing
race,
like a damn
you might be
basketball.
running 42 seconds flat. You might be running 15th and running 42.15 seconds. That's how tight things are. So you lose a little bit of downforce, it could cost you a whole lot of time on the track.
Pace car has the field gathered up, and they'll open the pits this time. The big loser in that green flag run, Kevin Harvick, was 3rd before pit stops, had a speeding penalty that dropped him to 16th. Kurt Busch was solidly on the lead lap. He had a speeding penalty. He is now a lap down in 28th.
I know they had a strategy, but I think that caution was a huge break for Tony Stewart, because if you go back to my numbers,
so when we go back
every
green, this is going to be close to halfway.
Right here, fill it up with Sunoco race fuel, you can make it on 2 more stops from this pit stop.
You know who else agrees with your numbers? Steve Addington. He's probably saying, I'm thankful for that caution.
Yeah, backstretch is about as bumpy as a road in Illinois.
Under this, the 3rd caution flag.
God, no, I used to live there, unfortunately.
Chance for the pit crews to work their magic.
Here we go.
So in the front 5, 2 Toyotas, Logano's Ford, and 2 Chevrolets. Pit roads open. Steve.
Matt Kenseth has had to adjust his line, Mike. He's driving lower on the racetrack than where he started the race. He says he's loose in. He gets tight on initial throttle, and then he's loose off. So it's early and then late when he's 4 tires for Matt Kenseth. We go to Krista.
Steve, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is also loose in. He said, I thought I was too tight at the start of the run, but it really came around to me. 4 tires of Sunoco fuel, Matt.
Peter Kyle Busch, he says his car wasn't bad balance-wise, but wants to keep up with the racetrack. They made a track bar adjustment on this stop. It said the car helped that on the previous run. Meanwhile, Joey Logano, he said his car was tight from center to exit, had gotten slightly worse on that run. They made a chassis adjustment as well.
Looks like having that #1 pit selection that comes with sitting on the pole paid off for Denny Hamlin. He wins the battle.
Spam 11 for Denny.
So the battle of different strategies kind of comes apart with this caution flag for debris.
The Auto Club 400, presented by Coca-Cola, is sponsored by AT&T.
I like that. No, and then the word 11.
If you just tuned in, a quick recap here before the
Hey,
race.
for anyone new that is tuning in.
Near each other, and Kyle Busch in the middle. He's been the star of the first half of this race, but look at Logano getting near Hamlin. Logano led for quite a few laps in this race, 24 as a matter of fact. Brad Keselowski, who started 29th, Greg Biffle from the back of the pack.
Howdy.
8 spots in one lap.
Good to see you.
And we're in the top 10, but oil on the track created some problems for a number of cars who slid and scraped the wall. Clint Bowyer, Keselowski, Bowyer, Casey Kane involved. They worked themselves back into the top 10. 7 leaders, 10 different lead changes. Denny Hamlin leading Kyle Busch at the moment here at the Auto Club 400. But in 2 weeks from today, it's Martinsville, Virginia.
In 2 weeks, NASCAR on Fox returns, and I'm going home.
Are you, though?
We head to Martinsville for some of the best short track racing you'll ever see.
Denny Hamlin, can't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, I've won
Bailey for the 2. Didn't Tony fight Joey after this race? I don't know. We're going to have to see for sure. I know they're not crazy about each other.
The California racing community lost a couple of greats this week. John Cardinale, the longtime public relations director up at Sears Point in Sonoma, lost his battle with cancer. Cardinale was 47. And close by here in San Bernardino, industrialist, race car sponsor, and racetrack owner Warner Hodgdon passed at the age of 80. He rebuilt and revitalized the city of San Bernardino's downtown.
I feel like a jerk for saying this, but it wouldn't be a Fox broadcast without Mike Joy talking about somebody who died. If you ever notice when you look back through the years, he does it a lot.
To restart with Keselowski
but spam green. A happier note, we're going green.
Pit stop. He came in 13th. Now he's 27th as Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch lead them to green.
Once again, Larry, 3, 4, just pick a lane. There's plenty of them there, and everybody's in one.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth, that 20 car, he goes way up the racetrack trying to get that run off turn 2. Just look at those 2 Joe Gibbs drivers, though, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. I don't know who wants to win this thing the most.
I don't either, but I know, get easy here, boys. Now your teammates give each other a little room.
Very little.
That's the problem, though, isn't it, DW? You've got all that room in the corner, but you tend to come together on the exit of the corner.
You have a come-together meeting right out there off turn 4.
Man, I wish the Instagram account NASCAR was around back then. Doing classic races. Maybe that's something you can do over the off-season. I do miss this booth, too. This is when DW hadn't kind of fallen off yet. Larry Mack up there. Mike Joy still in his prime.
And Ricky Stenhouse
Great
on
move.
the move. Takes 12th away from Jamie McMurray. And Harvick, the 29, coming from the back. Trying to recover from his speeding penalty.
Whoa, baby. Oh, now. Hang on here, boys. Again, just really tight. You get that big arrow push to some degree up off turn 4 there, and you just can't stay off that car on the outside of you.
Harvick behind Tony Stewart. Excuse me, there's Stewart. He's up on the outside of Casey Kane. 6th and 7th. There's Harvick. Side of Stenhouse. By the way, David Rudiman got the free pass under that, the 3rd caution of
I know, there was a lot of speaker buzz back then for Fox in general.
That caution, I think, was exactly what Kevin Harvick needed in that 29. Had that pit road.
Hey, get hard from Menard!
Lap 70, gave him an opportunity to catch back up.
Yeah, the off-throttle time was amazing.
Right now. Brad Keselowski again has to fight his way from the back to the front as he did at the start of the race. These two are going to prove to be tough to catch. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin both in Toyotas, leading Joey Logano.
All right, we're going to be under commercial for it, so spam it halfway. We're getting there.
When we come back.
The Auto Club 400, presented by Coca-Cola, is sponsored by the Dodge Dart. Dodge, new rules. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
I'm loving it.
It's at 100 laps to go, and time now for the AT&T mid-race report. Chris Myers, glad you're watching with us, and Kyle Busch, your current leader. He and Joey Logano led the most laps through the first half. Busch, by the way, led this race the last 2 years, led the most laps, but did not wind up winning it. Darrell Waltrip, who are you keeping an eye on?
Well, I try to connect the dots. And Dale Jr., the last time he won a race was at Michigan, a 2-mile super speedway, just like here in
Damn
California.
straight, I was there.
He has no wins here, but I'm watching that 88 today.
You do that, DW.
Well, I know this is going to be picking some low-hanging fruit, but I like Kyle Busch. He's been talking on the radio to his crew chief. He's saying, I haven't really kicked this thing in the side yet. I know what I need to do, I believe, and I think I have enough in the tank to do it. Watch for Kyle Busch to close strong.
Now, Michael, Joey Logano got a fresh start in 2013, and what happened at Bristol may be exactly what he needed to build a fire up on him. I'm going to keep an eye on Joey Logano. What a better thing to do than give Roger Penske a win at a track he opened in the late 90s. Matt.
But Larry Mack, Joe Gibbs would love to score a Sprint Cup Series win.
I miss Matt Yoakum, too.
I'd like to give that to him. Currently third. His car, pretty much from the drop of the green flag, he's been too free on entry. They've continued to try to tighten that race car up. They still have some work to do here in the second half. Mike?
Well, the trend is that the halfway leader here goes to victory lane. It's happened in 7 of the last 11 races here, but not the past 2 years, as Chris pointed out. Kyle Busch led the halfway lap, didn't win it, and today, Chris, he's led the halfway lap again.
And Mike, another factor, we heard crew chief Chad Knaus early in the race tell Jimmy Johnson, his driver, make sure you hydrate. This will be the hottest race of the year so far. How the driver handles the heat and the stress on their engines may determine the outcome today. Jimmy has not led.
Hottest race of the year on December 4th.
And currently 18th. This has been your AT&T mid-race report. Kyle Busch leading Joey Logano, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Denny Hamlin. You're watching NASCAR.
Junior's in third. Let's go.
The Auto Club 400, presented by Coca-Cola, is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Subway, the official training restaurant of Carl Edwards and athletes everywhere.
I have not yet, Steve-O. I have not. I want to see a little more that comes out about that first.
Pick your team of 5
but I'm keeping an eye on it for sure.
Compete for weekly prizes all season
that
long.
will probably be a talking point for NWP when it comes back on January 29th.
And pick your winning team.
So technically, think about it, next month it comes back.
Matt Kenseth started 3rd, has led this race. He's dropped back to 10th. Have a look at him here. Ooh.
Oh, he and Biffle are kind of leaning on each other. Those are 2 former teammates.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it gets into that left rear just a little bit. Biffle in his 16 does. Yeah, right there. Big contact. Woohoo!
Boy, that'll cut a tire down.
That'll cut your tire right down, man.
He is loose.
Now, earlier, Clint Boyer got some damage driving through the oil when Timmy Hill dropped an engine, or dropped oil on the track from the engine.
We are farmers. Bum ba da bum 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 bum. J.K. Simmons was in those commercials, right?
That got damaged. So let's get an update from Boyer and see what's fresh off the wire. Brought to you by KFC.
Blech.
Steve Burns.
Well, Mike, his crew chief is Brian Patty. Brian, you guys were so good early until you hit the wall. Can you get back to being contention?
And is his arm itching?
So, you guys did a good job fixing the car in that pit stop. I think we passed 21 cars that next stint. So, yeah, we got a car capable. We just got to have a little bit of luck.
I love how in the background you can hear the announcers going.
Boyer has rebounded to 6th place. And
like if you listen close enough, you can hear them like smacking their lips together.
At lap 93, unscheduled here, and you see the damage on both the right front and right rear on his car.
I think he may have felt, though, possibly that left rear tire going soft. The untimeliness of that stop right there, he still would have to make 2 more stops to make it to the end.
Yeah, that was hard enough contact, Larry. I bet it did damage that tire, and I bet he could feel it going down. Before it did blow out, he came to pit road.
Kenseth was 11th. He is now 1 lap down in 26th. Mark Martin battling Ricky Stenhouse, fighting for 18th position here. And let's go to the backstretch. Jeff Hammond.
Mike, right now I'm in camera position 6.
I forgot, this is the time where they didn't know what the hell to do with Jeff Hammond, so they just threw him anywhere on the racetrack.
How rough this racetrack it still is today.
Hell of a view.
And haven't heard a lot of drivers complain about it, but we've already documented the 22-car Joe Logano. The problem he has on the left side of his splitter right now could be a factor before the end of the day. Remember, we're just past the halfway point. We may see several other drivers, and I've seen several cars hitting the racetrack really hard down the back straightaway and entering turn 3. And depending on the line, it either minimizes it if you stay high.
God, listen to those cars screaming, man.
You're going to hit that much harder. So
it's beautiful.
He may not be the only guy that's going to be a victim of this racetrack at the end of the day.
Jeff, you can see, if you look at our shot there, you can see those dark and light spots. That's where the cars really porpoise up and down going down that back straightaway.
Yeah, you really can, Darrell, and you're exactly right. It's light and dark, and it's all because they're actually almost like grinding the racetrack down, and it really looks good. We're riding along with Joey Logano, and you see out the front windshield as he goes down the back straightaway and through these corners how really rough this racetrack is.
I feel like I could just leave a 24-hour stream up of just hearing that down the backstretch the way that they're doing, that mume sound. I could leave that for 24 hours. I feel like I've had hundreds of people watching it just like ASMR as they sleep.
But they make
Has
it
Crank It Up happened
seamless.
yet? I don't think Crank It Up has happened. When it does, though, I will shut the hell up and you just enjoy it.
When you look at Keselowski, his day took a turn. Remember back when the Timmy Hill incident happened, we had great video of the 2-car just grazing the wall. Brad's car from that point on has been on the top.
Actually, I think somebody had uploaded a good portion of the 2006 Talladega Fall race with no announcers or anything like that, so you can just hear the cars. Where's that?
Kept going slowly.
Get down, damn it.
Joe Nemechek.
Last row, Joe. Caution.
I'm thinking he may have been running in.
Spam yellow. Caution, caution, caution. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Nemechek, that will be a break for Matt Kenseth, who was a lap down, and it was confirmed from the pits that Kenseth did have a flat left rear tire when he pitted.
Oh, yeah, that splitter got in there and cut that left rear tire down, no question.
So what happened to last row,
the
Joe?
black car of Joe Nemechek high up against the wall.
And Mike, he chased that car from turn 1 all the way up into the middle of the corner and hung onto that car with that left rear tire down.
Fourth caution of the day, lap 117.
I wonder if his son will be any good.
For Nemechek. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Everything we learn making tires that face the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR.
Speaking of tires, speaking of Sunoco race fuel, this caution right here, it's basically going to be they're going to hit pit road with 82 laps to go. 41 laps a run will get you to the end. I guarantee you now they're starting to think about that on pit road.
Yeah, this was a perfect time for a caution.
Kyle Busch will lead them down. Joey Logano, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart, the top 5 of 25 lead lap cars.
All right, these are going to be important stops.
You can't have any mistakes. You're getting late in the race. No mistakes.
Here they come, Steve.
And by Kevin Harvick and his team have done a great job of battling back from that pit road speeding penalty. They've made very few adjustments to this 29 car, a brand new race car, 4 tires for Kevin Harvick and Sunoco Fuel, Krista.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. a little snug on new tires, but he said we've been like that every week this
Good
year,
stop
so it's
for
not
Harvick.
a concern to me. I'm driving it. I really don't have any issues at all.
Bad stop for Dale Jr. Really, really bad stop. He had a 12-second stop earlier. 21.2 for Dale Jr., 12.9 Kyle Busch, 12.4 Logano.
Trouble on the right rear on the 88. Took forever.
Took 22 seconds, and you're right,
Oof.
That's an eternity when you're on pit road.
Forever.
Tough break for Earnhardt.
Carl Edwards, the big gainer there, up 5 spots, along with Ryan Newman.
I can already hear 15-year-old me saying
Jr.
everything
came
but a
in
cuss
third,
word in
went
front of
out
my
deep in the
parents at the
field.
time. The mother probably wishes I still was like that.
The Auto Club 400 is presented by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of NASCAR. Coca-Cola, open happiness.
Finishing up the 4th caution of the day, let's give you an inside look at what's happening in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, brought to you by Sprint. Kyle Busch led a lot of laps today, 3 times as many as anyone else. Get unlimited access to NASCAR with a NASCAR Mobile 13 app and truly unlimited data from Sprint. No metering, no throttling, no overages while on the Sprint network. Learn more at sprint.com/speed.
Let's take a look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 team. Came in running third, and you're going to see Joe Slinger on the right rear. He gets the tire off just fine, but when he goes to put it back on, a lug nut falls. He has to pick one up, try to get it on there. Another one falls. He goes to pick another one up, and this is going to be a 20-second pit stop with all the problems there on the right rear. He pretty much goes from third to 21st here with 80 laps to go. If you just look right here, look compared to Kyle Busch, that's essentially 10 seconds, or if you want to break it down, 18 spots. Now, we had 4 drivers that came to pit road to top off with fuel, and we got the 1 to go. Brad Keselowski in the 2, Juan Pablo Montoya in the 42, Matt Kenseth in the 20. It was a no-brainer for them. They just got the free pass, as well as Jeff Gordon. I think those 4 drivers are definitely thinking they can make it. You can see them packing it in, Juan Pablo Montoya. They would have to make 40 laps a run to get to the end here.
I like that.
Good one.
I like that a lot.
Trenton, I remember that was a meme at the time, the Thanks Obama meme. Not to be it's not political. It was just a meme at the time for those who don't remember or weren't around back then. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the only time you'll see Danica Patrick ahead of Jeff Gordon. Green, green, green.
They're passing him now as he just leaves pit road.
And here goes Logano right to the bottom and right to the lead.
Better spam your 22s.
Particularly on new tires here on the restart. But Kyle will get that high line, and he'll get a lot of momentum around the top of this racetrack. Whoa, now. Closed the door on him. Logano did on the, I think he was expecting Kyle to go high.
Kyle trying to take the bottom and maybe trying to loosen Joey up a little bit.
Giggles to the lead.
Neither of those strategies worked. Logano, leader by 3 car lengths at the stripe.
But Darrell, I think
hey, Eric Almirola top 10.
A good handling race car because Kyle Busch got right on that left rear and it didn't seem to affect Joey Logano.
Oh man, he was right back in the gas and going.
Montoya is up to speed, a lap down. Krista, what happened?
Yeah, Mike, they actually, the shifter broke from the gearbox, so they had to spend time on pit road fixing that shifter. Juan Pablo Montoya may only have 3rd and 4th gear right now.
Thanks, Chris. That really hurts him is making pit stops and on restarts.
I don't know why. We're worn out today. Need this race start picking up more.
Biffle and Edwards 7th and 8th.
I think it is.
Fight for position. Carl clears Biffle. After the pit stop, the botched pit stop for Dale Jr., here's the team communication.
Well, we're better, man. We'll just rebound. Have some good ones from here. So have a couple more to the finish.
That's crew chief Steve Letarte.
That dude's got a future in entertainment, I think.
Well, I tell you, it has built a fire under him, Krista, because he's went from 21st to 12th in 2.5 laps, Krista.
Well, I think what's interesting about this, Larry, is Dale Jr. was also the one on the radio pumping up his team, telling him it's just a blip on the radar. Dale Jr. said one of the things he loves about this team is
God, look at Junior go.
They hold him accountable. He said it's a complete team effort.
Darrell, that's the carpool lane down there. Where was he going?
No, but he's going somewhere. He's going to the front's where he's going. But Dale Jr. is a refocused race car driver this year. I talked to his car owner, Rick Hendrick. Rick said he's never seen Dale Jr. like this. He went on a diet. He lost 20 pounds. He's more engaged, and it is going to pay off late in races, particularly. The better shape you're in, the better job you can do at the end of the day.
4th place, Hamlin and Harvick. And in case you were half listening, no, Dale Jr. did not get engaged. He is engaged with the running of that race team.
Well, all I know is not far behind this group right here is a man by the name of Biffle in that 16 car. He's in 6th behind Tony Stewart. The 14 passes Tony Stewart. Remember, had to start this race at the rear of the field just like Brad Keselowski because of an engine change. We said it. It wasn't going to be a matter if he got to the front. It would be when he gets there.
Yeah, that car is so fast all weekend long in practice and everything. Just the unfortunate having to start in the back. But, man, he's got that baby hooked up now, and he's on the apron.
He almost went to the grass that time.
That's a shortcut, man. He took the shortcut. Got a couple of them.
And pops right up exiting turn 4 single file right behind Harvick, who is 3rd. How about a good old Southern California NASCAR on
There you go,
Fox?
y'all.
You know
Crank it
what?
on up.
I hear you.
Crank it up. Entering the corner, right around 200 miles an hour. That's what it's like.
You know what we should do? We should
go.
crank it up when they're just driving down pit road.
Well, Mike, I'm seeing a lot of new players in the game. Maybe not so much. You got Bevel up there in 4th, but you drop back just a little bit, and you got Carl Edwards back there in 9th. He hasn't spoken much of him today, but I'll see some guys, the cream starting to rise to the top a little bit here.
Yeah, Cody, NASCAR's pretty chill when it comes to this stuff. If it's before about 2014, NASCAR is very, very relaxed on this stuff. So, stream should be good. Plus, this is from a race upload channel. Credit to NASCAR All Out up there. But I just want to clear that up for sure. Yeah, NASCAR is, of all major sports in America, of the leagues, insanely chill with this stuff.
About 22 laps from now.
What's up, Steve-O for the 5 saying, thanks, Jarrett. This is going to help my VA claims when I retire.
Joey Logano.
If everyone just wants to leave Noom in a super chat when I read it, it's going to be funny as hell to put a compilation. Just have a bunch of them where you just add memes of me going, Noom, when the cars go by.
Car high is
oh no,
Ambrose
Marcus!
With a flat left rear tire up in turn 1. Waiting for traffic to clear.
And are they going to let him get down?
The
nah, there's a damn caution.
You got to believe it.
But y'all,
you know, these left rear tires getting cut
there's
down.
69 to go.
In there, and it doesn't take much at all to cut that left rear tire down.
Bam, 69.
Casual contact somewhere around the track.
Ambrose was 17th in his Richard Petty Ford.
How about AJ Allmendinger? Phoenix Racing, 16th.
You see him going high in the turn here. Already the tire's down, and he's just trying to hang on to this thing and keep it out of the wall. He's getting it slowed up enough where he can, and then all of a sudden, probably start seeing some debris fly out of there.
Yep.
There it goes.
Today, action movie fans and race fans would be celebrating the birthday of the King of Cool. Steve McQueen would have been 83 today. Once finished as runner-up.
A damn shame if they got rid of the inner liners, wouldn't it?
Raced foot in a cast. He broke it in a motorcycle accident, but raced on. Coca-Cola race summary.
Hey, Ryder.
69 laps to go. Your leader is Joey Logano. First of now 29 cars on the lead lap. He's one of 7 race leaders. Kyle Busch has led the most laps. And we're now working the 5th caution flag of the day. Joe Gibbs Racing has been here with Toyotas, Chevrolets, Pontiacs even. Has never been to victory lane at Auto Club Speedway. But they have led most of the laps today.
I'm not sure I would like to do it, but I will not be surprised.
That sounds
based
brutal.
on Tony Stewart earlier, Steve. We
inner liner going out at
at
Kansas.
2 tires.
By the way, I like the paint scheme. I saw it on Twitter today. Or X, I should say.
Not be one of those drivers.
I like it. I like the wings.
Just help me in the center. a little bit. He does get a clean windshield, Krista, and 4 tires.
All right, Junior, let's not have a bad stop this
About what
time.
Tony Stewart did, thinking about the 2 tires, but the plan is to go for 4, and this team is pumped up looking for redemption. Matt?
Damn,
Kyle
Harvick
Busch
seems
said
good.
his car just didn't take off at the beginning of that run like it did the previous
12-2.
run. You can see
There
the
we go.
chassis adjustment already completed on the 18. Meanwhile, the bottom left, Joey Logano, they've made headway in the center of the
Pretty
corner,
spicy,
but he
I like
still
it.
needs more
Why
grip,
is it
more
spicy?
drive off the corner.
Well, this will change things. Tony Stewart gets 2 tires and leads them off pit road. So does Boyer, Keselowski.
Now is where we're
Kenseth.
starting to get stuff where I remember it, where people are running.
With 68 laps to go on the Auto Club 400.
Caution's out. Whoever laid down the oil, we got in it and we smacked the fence. Something just happened to me. There was oil. I hit it. I got the wall in some oil. Oil on the track. 55, 15, 78, the 5. Yeah, a bunch of them hit the wall. Damn it!
66 laps to go at the Auto Club Speedway.
Nothing is
NASCAR
better than
on Fox.
listening to
It's time
people
for
get
an
pissed
AT&T
off
race
over the
break,
radio
brought to you by
with
the nation's
millions of
largest
people able to
4G
hear it.
LTE
I love
network.
it, man.
And in the aftermath of Bristol, Logano didn't accept the apology from Hamlin, but Hamlin said it wouldn't be good for Joey to retaliate today. But they were close.
Would it
in fact, Logano, who had never led in 6 previous races, led 34 laps in this race.
I just love how these old Fox broadcasts, they're just showing a replay. It's like, what should we do with the replay? It's like, I got it. Let Joe Satriani over there just freaking shred for about 10 minutes.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. had to recover from a pit stop problem. You heard him cheering on his crew.
Dude shredding like he's Sinister Gates in the background. It just in the back. I love it.
Moved into the lead here with our latest caution. We've had 7 leaders, 13 lead changes so far. It's a race Tony Stewart has to have, or at least finish well, since he came in 24th in points. Stewart has won 2 of the last 3 California races. But let's talk, Michael Waltrip, about Logano. Earlier, we have documented the splitter and some of the problems that could cause throughout this race.
Yeah, if you don't have your splitter fully intact, you will lose front downforce. You could see it begin to grind away early in the race on top, and now not only is it ground away, Chris, it's halfway around
Auto
to
Club
the front
Speedway
of the car,
is just
and
team valence.
it's falling
That's all
apart
it is.
from the body itself. So that could cause even more problems. It's not going to get any better. These cars bounce down the straightaways. There's so much to be gained by having a low car, but the risk is burning your splitter off, and that's exactly where Logano is right now.
So what can you or a crew chief do about it with 65 laps to go? And seems like
it's all right. I don't really want to watch
We're
Mikey.
getting to a point in the race now where conservatives out. We got to go win us a race.
And it looks like all lanes are usable. Who can pick the best lane over the final 65 laps will be worth watching. And that is your AT&T race break, brought to you by the nation's largest 4G LTE network. AT&T, Mike, rethink possible.
Thanks, Chris. We'll have 31 lead lap cars, and they will include Kurt Busch, who finally overcomes his speeding penalty. He was the free pass. And the curious case of Timmy Hill, who we saw dump oil on the track. 5 cars hit the wall as a result. He did not blow an engine. He lost an oil line because Hill is now back out there logging laps 71 laps down.
And Kyle Busch, an 18 car per Matt Yoakum, back in 10th. He had to go to his backup battery.
Green flag.
Green, green.
Tony Stewart.
Spam green.
And Clint Boyer. Bring them to turn 1.
That 15 car, that's gonna be a car to watch this year.
The top 4 drivers there all went with just 2 tires. Look at the run that Stewart's getting on the outside, as well as Kevin Harvick in the 29, and there comes Kyle Busch.
Yeah, spam your 14s for smoke.
The bottom, the top groove is the one that works. Here comes Harvick.
Yeah, a couple of things. Going to a backup battery, that's not a bad thing. It should be fine. It's late in the race. I'm not really concerned about that splitter on that 22 car. It's on that left side. I don't think it'll have a huge effect. Those guys are going to be tough.
Kyle through the middle with Harvick on the high side and Kenseth giving up the bottom to go up top. But they're all chasing Tony Stewart.
We've been in the car a couple of times with Tony, watching his in-car. I really and truly don't think I've ever seen him work as hard as I see him work today.
That little move there, boys, by Kyle Busch. He restarted 10th. He was passing for 3rd down in the middle of 1 and 2 after just 1 lap. I told you, we're not going to be conservative anymore, and Kyle's got his ears pinned back and is going.
Yeah, Michael, I've never seen a driver that can make moves on a restart like he can. He is the master of restarts.
Harvick outside Boyer, crosses over. second place. Stewart out in front by half a second last week at Bristol. His crew chief Steve Addington told me we have some new suspension pieces going through the NASCAR approval process. When we get them approved, which should be by California, we will be better. Here's the proof of the pudding. Stewart showed us very little during the practice sessions all week long. Started this race sixth. He is out front with his nose in the wind. And he just ran his fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, you know it has to be towards the end of the race back at this time because Kevin Harvick getting closer to the front. Oh boy, the closer. Even if he didn't win, he was always moving forward at the end of these races.
61 laps to go. There you see the two drivers that started at the rear of the field because of engine change. Brad Keselowski in the 2, the blue car, and Greg Biffle at the back of this pack in the 16. And then think about Matt Kenseth. Wasn't that long ago he was on pit road for an unscheduled stop for a flat left rear.
That's the guy that's going somewhere, Larry. That 18 car is coming. He restarted 10th. He's up to fighting for second.
Play that Jaws music, man.
He is on a tear.
Now both of these drivers elected to go with 4 tires on that last pit stop.
Damn, audio.
Last week at Bristol, every driver comes out.
That's a Fox thing back then. Would happen every now and then.
Himself. And Kyle grabs the microphone and to a chorus of boos says, "You know who I am."
No introduction needed.
These cars, that's one thing that I know about these cars. They can run side by side without getting all crazy and pushing and getting loose.
Now top to bottom gets Busch into the corner quicker. But staying up top gives Harvick more momentum off the corner.
But Kyle has got his car better, Mike, because he wasn't able to run down low like he is now on this last restart. So he's made his car much better.
We wanted to get 5 races in the books, 5 different racetracks, but I don't think we can say enough.
Man, what's wrong with Jimmy? Back in 25th. Starting to look like 2024 Jimmy Johnson.
We have had great racing at all 5 races, all 5 tracks.
Larry, this car, I say this, and I say it, I don't mean this disrespectfully. This car is better than the teams right now. They're figuring it out. They're trying to get their arms around it. What can they do?
That's one way to put it, Daryl.
At 7th place, teammates Denny Hamlin and the 20, Matt Kenseth. Right behind them, Ryan Newman, who is the race leader's teammate.
203, 204, 205.
Ryan Newman has really been through a lot today. We talked about a missed adjustment earlier in the race. Then he was dragging the right side of the splitter against the track. But on the last run, he said, now we've got it. The car was the best. It's been all day.
Well, he's had a very trying 2013 as we see Kevin Harvick up there battling Kyle Busch. They continue to battle.
These are 2 of the guys that fought in 2011 too, 29-18.
And Tony Stewart is not getting away
and then
from these 2, even though they continue to battle.
Brief Juan Pablo Montoya cameo.
58 laps to go as Montoya hits pit road. Tony Stewart leading.
The Auto Club 400, presented by Coca-Cola, is sponsored by Chevy Silverado. The one you depend on, the one that lasts.
With 53 laps to go, a lead change. So we'll take an inside look at what's happening in the NASCAR Sprint
lead
Cup
change.
Series,
I'm assuming it's going to be Kyle Busch.
Our 15th lead change of the day. Kyle Busch going past Tony Stewart. Stewart
all
took
right,
it back.
spam 18.
Almost got difficult. We'll show you in a moment. But you can get unlimited access to NASCAR with the NASCAR Mobile 13 app and truly unlimited data from Sprint. No metering, no throttling, no overages. Learn more at sprint.com/speed.
Boy, there's some aggressive racing going on right now.
Closing in the closing stages of the race. Back when saying that did not mean stage racing.
Took the lead, and Stewart tried to take it back over in turn number 2.
This, I can't believe how close this comes to being a wreck right here, guys. See Stewart drop to the bottom up along the side of the 18 car there. He kind of thinks he might have him cleared enough to get up in front of him right here. But look at this run when Kyle gets right. Ooh. And Tony had to get out of the throttle, man. If he hadn't, that would have been big.
Yeah, and Tony's also going to lose that 3rd spot to Joey Logano in the 22. But that goes back to what you were talking about earlier. You can do all that through the corners, but it comes together on the exit.
Jesus.
You didn't see Kyle Busch lifting.
No, it's a good thing Tony did, though, because he was going to be all on the side of that 18.
The amount of laps that Kyle Busch and the amount of racing Kyle Busch would do back
Busch
then
with
was
Harvick,
nuts.
Logano 1 second back, and Stewart now 2 back. Keselowski working on his.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that we have the limits on the Cup guys because we can actually see the real Xfinity guys race now.
That would tie the record
but
set
man,
by Dale Earnhardt for defending
that is a
to begin the season with 5 straight
that's a
top
hell of a
fives.
weekend.
That happened in 1995.
He's such a steady performer. That he and his crew chief, they make such great calls during the race, and you can always depend on to be there at the end of the day.
50 to go. All right, we're in the final quarter of the race now.
In 6th place, our pole sitter, Denny Hamlin, 4.4 seconds. Hamlin has led 3 laps today, but didn't have the dominating performance that he hoped for.
No, because he showed a lot of speed in all the practice sessions here, and still need maybe one adjustment away from being able to compete with Kyle Busch.
Clint Boyer, one of those cars that got banged up on lap 36 in oil from Timmy Hill's car, trying to hold off Ryan Newman, who's climbed to 8th. And there is Casey Kane, the 9th place car.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work on that Kane
Bailey
car.
for the
They got
2.
a lot of damage to that thing.
2008, 14-15 Kyle Busch. 2008 to 14-15 Kyle Busch was scary.
Flat left rear tire, but
it was so
he has
volatile
come
back then
in
in so many different ways.
Greg Biffle in 11th after starting scratch on the field.
But in hindsight, it was pretty fun to watch. It was fun to root against him, honestly, even as a junior fan. Because like when he'd win, you'd get all pissed all week about it or something. But when he would screw up, it was always fun watching the stands erupt.
70 degrees, but his teammate Greg Biffle backed up to the 99 and helped get debris off the grill. Right now, the 99 is okay. He just hasn't found any grip all day, Mike.
Thanks, Steve. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been up amongst the leaders, but has fallen back and started running that unorthodox line once again down on the apron, all down the front straightaway.
Yeah, he fell back quite a bit, but I think the car's just not handled like it was earlier when he was running up in the top 3.
And here's A.J. Allmendinger, who will run a number of races for James
the Dinger,
and he'll run the Indy 500 for Roger Penske this year.
I want to give a call to his race team, though. 5 races, 3 different drivers. They're sitting there 8th in the owner points coming into this race today.
Jeff Gordon having an off day, and Eric
realized that they had it in him at that
is
point.
going to run maybe 420 miles today because every one of his laps has been right up against the wall at both ends of the speedway. And Kurt Busch, who recovered from a pit road speeding penalty, finally worked it to get the free pass, and he's back on the lead lap, and he's still passing cars.
Yeah, he's had a good little race car all day. Had some bad luck there early on, but he's made up for it, and he's starting to fight back just a little bit. Looking pretty good.
5th place, Keselowski has caught Hamlin.
Well, I think
that's Hamlin catching Keselowski.
Yeah, I think Keselowski and drivers like Matt Kenseth paying the price now for those 2 tires.
Oh.
The Auto Club 400, presented by Coca-Cola, is sponsored by Sprint. Millions of fans, one family, only Sprint.
All right, guys, what we're thinking.
Join the family at
Who's gonna win?
Sprint.com/speed.
We're getting down to the wire. It's a little bit closer to it.
42 laps to go in Southern California. Kyle Busch, 3/4 of a second up on Kevin Harvick. 42 to go, including one more pit stop at the least. Kevin Harvick.
Almirola wins, eh?
Right in Busch's shadow. 4 seconds back to Joey Logano.
Hamster.
Then Denny Hamlin is
29-18.
Ahead of Tony
29
Stewart.
is bad fast. He's sticking with Kyle Busch.
Jimmy Johnson's one of the local Southern California heroes, 5-time winner here. But his worst finish here, Matt, is 16th ever, and Johnson right now is mired in 24th.
It looks like he's in the off-road and an off-road truck, the way he's working the wheel. Mike, basically after the 2nd run today, Jimmy's
feels like Junior's been the only bright spot for Mr. H on this race.
He had the first 2 runs, which the car was so fast, he could not run the bottom, couldn't use the apron to hook the car like he was earlier in the race.
Post-race?
Right
I don't know. There might be a little recovery.
On this race car, the last stop, I lost count how many rounds explosive wedge they put in that 48 machine.
Larry, right now, his lap times are 1 second slower than the race leader.
Yeah, he's just looking for another pit stop, but I can't help but think back to what Chad Knaus, his crew chief, told Michael Waltrip when Michael was on pit road. We stayed up all night long redoing things thinking about what to do to that race car. Thought they hit it. Obviously, they didn't.
That thing is evil. Anytime you watch a driver turn the car to the right, anytime you have to fight the wheel to the right, that means this thing is about to spin out. And you right here, you'll see you got to cut it back to the right to save it. He's not looking for another pit stop. He's looking for another racetrack.
God, DW could kill me sometimes on
Need
this.
to make note that Juan Pablo Montoya with transmission problems went to the garage area.
Thanks, Larry. 2 weeks from today, a short track slam bang, Martinsville Speedway in Virginia.
That's the one Jimmy Johnson's looking forward to right now.
Got a great record there.
And no different than Bristol, someone will be mad at someone. I can almost promise you when it's over.
Bobby Labonte, one of 3 drivers to run every Cup race ever held here at Auto Club Speedway. Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon are the others. Labonte making perhaps his final pit stop of the day, and the parade begins. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mark Martin onto pit road, Martin Truex also in, and Jamie McMurray. Krista?
As you see on your screen, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in. Remember, they had the slow stop earlier in the race. They redeemed themselves on the last stop. Will they be able to again? A 4-tire stop for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said the handling was worse on that last run. There you also see Martin Truex. He has really been struggling all day with the right rear of the race car. He said he's been burning it off all day. They've made several adjustments. This time he thought the left rear was going down. Martin Truex said his race car right now, horrible.
Truex upset with his car? No.
Mike Clint Boyer's same refrain for him. He said it will not turn in the center. I can't get the front to turn at all. Tires and Sunoco fuel for Clint Boyer. Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth says the entry into the corners is the best it's been. It's just a little bit free. That's what Matt Kenseth said moments ago.
Jeff Burton makes his stop in and out. The 2 BK cars are in, and Martin.
Oh my God, BK Racing! I forgot about them.
Electronic timing system has his too fast entering his pit.
I was just telling Barry Landis, our producer.
Boy, Danny B has a good video about them, but that was just a complete just cluster of a team, and it is amazing they last as long as they did.
Casey Kane, another one that's been fighting a tight condition, Mike. It's going to be 4-tire change for Casey Kane again. Trying to get that thing to turn. Carl Edwards, they have, as we said, overcome their overheating problem. But again, the car is still too loose. Matt.
And meanwhile, Brad Keselowski's car, you can see where he had some of the cosmetic damage to the right side. 2 cautions ago, they worked on that right side to help clean it up. Clean the grille, no chassis adjustment for the 2.
Kyle Busch stays out. He is still the quickest car on the racetrack. But as these cars come up to speed with fresh tires, that'll change.
Well, where the cat and mouse game will come is, I think, with our top 4. Kyle Busch, Harvick, Logano, and Hamlin. Once one of them comes to pit road, Matt, the other ones can't be far behind.
And Stewart looking for another win here. You can see already going to work on the right side. Look for a wedge adjustment. Still haven't seen the wedge wrench go in the back window yet. He said he gave it a valiant effort on those 2 right side tires, trying to keep that car out front. No adjustment, he's away. Meanwhile, the 22, Joey Logano, he's making his way down pit road. Joey telling his team absolutely needs some more help on exit the corner.
Ambrose in and out, Dave Blaney, David Gilliland making their stops as we work through what could be the final round of pit stops. There are only 7 cars among the lead pack that have not yet stopped.
So Todd Gordon and Joey
There's Logano. That should bring the rest of them in the next lap or 2.
Road of those top 4 that I talked about.
So the one's still on the racetrack.
I only need 1 number. Did something. Okay, bring it to us. Bring it to us.
Kyle being next time. Harvick's still out there along with Denny Hamlin, Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, and J.J. Yaley. Everybody else has made their stop, and here comes Hamlin.
I wonder what he meant by that, Larry. I only need 1 number.
Evidently, they have a code by what
I was about to say, is that code?
They're trying to make. Krista.
It is weird for me now seeing that 34 and it not looking like that with the yellow and the loves all over it.
For 4 tires and a round out and a right rear wedge to make up
and the 18 guys up on the wall waiting for Kyle Busch. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. His teammate, Denny Hamlin, he needs an air pressure change on that 11 machine, the pole sitter. He's had balance issues going back and forth between tight and loose, Steve.
Matt Kevin Harvick told Gil Martin, his crew chief, I got tight on that last run, so they will make a chassis adjustment, and they do get 4 tires on Kevin Harvick's car. Let's go back to Matt.
Kyle Busch trying to pull off the weekend sweep, Saturday's winner in the Nationwide Series. You can see the wrench in the back window. The track bar adjustment already complete. Kyle's biggest issue, he said the car was snug pretty much all the way through the corner. Just needed a little bit of a grip issue. Meanwhile, we're talking about the 48's troubles today. Jimmy Johnson, not the day typically you see from the 48 team here at the Auto Club Speedway. More than likely not going to score a 6th win. Johnson's car balance-wise, it's just
more than likely. We've been running 25th all day. Yeah, maybe there's a shot. I shouldn't say much. At the time, Jimmy was so dominant. He could run 25th all day, and you would think he could actually win if he didn't crash out.
Scoreboard as high as 3rd when he finally came in. So we cycle through pit stops with 33 laps to go. Kyle Busch, once again the leader in the Auto Club 400, presented by Coca-Cola. Caution is out for the 6th time.
Come on,
today.
Marcus.
There's the result. Marcus Ambrose.
What are you doing?
Just in front of Kevin Harvick.
Take a look.
Trying to be clear.
Oh, never mind.
Shredded the left rear tire. Heavy damage on Ambrose's car. Here's our extreme slow motion, our Exmo view of it.
Jeez, if I'm Kevin Harvick, man, that's Cole Brown.
That is the second flat left rear for Ambrose today. Second caution he's brought out.
Yeah, looks like
that is Cole Brown, man.
That rubber casing off that tire.
Ambrose went to the garage.
Now, we just had cycled through green flag pit stops, but here with about 29, 30 laps to go, about half of our 25 drivers on the lead lap hit
What do you
pit
think,
road.
chat? Is it one of those this changes everything moments, or more of the same? Pit stop ASMR.
They have not been on those tires for very long. And you see some of those drivers stopping now. Took 2, some took 4 for this final run to the finish. 29 laps to go. Working the 6th caution of the day for Marcus Ambrose and the number 9.
The Auto Club 400 presented by
just hurry up.
A feud between Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer really
Let's get it back
started.
going. I want to watch this racing.
Escalated a bit. It sort of escalated a little bit at Phoenix as well. So these guys do have some issues. But when you go to the short track of Martinsville, just like when we were in Bristol, ooh, boys, I can't wait. 2 weeks, bumping and grinding. It's going to be on at Martinsville.
See you there. All right. David Rudeman got the free pass on this caution. Jimmy Johnson trying to salvage a day. The first 7 cars did not pit. Everyone from their back did.
You know what all their bad tracks have in common? They're not in the chase.
All right, the green is the restart box. That's where Kyle.
All right, green. Let's get it going.
He beats Kevin Harvick to the start-finish line, and here comes Logano up the middle.
Boy, Harvick is not going. I mean, he's going nowhere.
Logano went up in the middle because he got a shot and a push from his teammate Brad Keselowski in that too.
Yeah, Harvick just did not go.
And who's flying around the outside? Is that Stewart?
That's Stewart up high.
To 3rd.
With the head of steam, headed down the back. Looking for.
Damn, look at Denny.
Top to bottom, Denny Hamlin. Elevator ride.
Oh, she's getting good now, boys.
This could be it right here.
Oh, yeah, 3 wide.
3 wide and only 8.
Coming to 25 laps to go. Great action off this restart. 4 wide in the back as Kyle Busch.
Bobbing and weaving, bobbing
away.
Just 3 wide everywhere, man.
Boyer down to the bottom. Trying to make something happen.
Larry, it's hard to believe that 18 car out front, Kyle Busch. This is the only current track that Joe Gibbs doesn't have a cup win in.
Casey Kane.
Hard to believe, man. Hard to believe.
Now arriving, track 2, Tony Stewart.
Oh, trouble down the back. There's a big wreck over there.
No, Mark.
Martin, who goes spinning down the back straightaway. Caution is out for the second time.
Poor Mark.
We hit anything, move to the left rear.
With his paint scheme that looks exactly the same as Junior's 88 in this race.
I'm sure there was some contact.
Saw the track bar hanging on the ground, Darrell.
Something just broke in the rear end.
Track bar.
Yep. Mark restarted 27th. David Gilliland with a lot of damage there.
Gilliland in the
maybe
38.
Mark got a little help breaking that track bar.
I noticed he
Martin would have been the free pass
kind
car.
of slapped the ball or something.
Coming around the back of the picture there.
There he is, white rooftop screen.
All right, Martin's here and Gilliland's there. They're pretty far apart
And there he
from each
goes,
other,
right
so
into him.
It was Mark coming across the track after it broke.
Looks like MTJ got the best
Gilliland,
view. Oh, here we go.
Let's see if if Mark gets any help or if that track bar just breaks. Did he get the wall? No, he got, there you go. There's your contact.
Another Cole Brown.
Comes right across Gilliland.
Hey, let's not spoil stuff, y'all. A lot of people in here haven't seen this. At least a lot of people, I think, have said they haven't.
The rear end moving back and forth there. Good sign.
Not sure which came first.
So this should lead our next restart to be around 20 to go.
I think only drivers at the back of the lead lap will be on pit road here probably.
So the drivers who did not stop under the last caution, Busch the leader, Kane in second, Logano fourth, Keselowski fifth, Harvick sixth, Hamlin and Newman.
And it looks like Hamlin and Newman, as well as Jimmy Johnson, they're going to take advantage of this caution and hit pit road.
Krista?
Such a tough choice, tires or track position. Ryan Newman made the call. He said, not only do I want tires, I want you to reverse whatever adjustment you made on our last stop. It was a right rear adjustment, so they're going back on that, and the call is for 4 tires for the 39 of Ryan Newman. Matt?
Krista, our pole sitter, Denny Hamlin, was running in the 11th position, and
I feel like Fox nowadays, if people in the middle of the pack or not leaders would pit, would just go to commercial instead of covering this.
Getting fresh tires, so they were back at 11.
It's just little things like this.
To pull for some new tires.
Matt, when this caution flag flew, Kevin Harvick said to Gil Martin and the crew, guys, I spun the tires. That's on me. Let's go to the Hollywood Hotel.
Thanks, Steve, with Michael Waltrip and Denny Hamlin, the pole sitter of this race. 23 to go. We heard him earlier.
Sorry, I don't want to listen to Mikey.
More difficult thing
to watch their
race car, so I had somebody.
Let's just get to the restart. How about that?
The time around.
There we go. Sorry, I don't want to listen
Let's
to
take a look at Denny Hamlin's stop.
Analysis of what we're going to watch.
See it here on the left rear. You see him put the left rear tire in place. He goes to tie. You saw it fall off. You saw it shoot off. And of course, Denny Hamlin pretty much, you'll see it right in there. It fell off. Denny Hamlin's signal to go is when the jack drops. And so if the jack drops, you see the tire changer reach for the lug nut, turns around. Denny Hamlin's gone, had to come back in for that missing lug nut.
Good call by the NASCAR inspector, who was right there.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard for him to make up all that ground with 20 to go.
So now, the cars that did not stop. Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, Joey Logano running 1, 2, 3, and Brad Keselowski 5th, Kevin Harvick 6th.
I just don't see how you're going to beat Kyle Busch. I don't think the competition can, as long as he doesn't beat himself somehow.
And I know we've had 7 cautions, Mike, but if you look at our last 7 races here, the average green flag run to the finish is 10 laps.
Darrell, I like the
caution
14
at that
and the
rate.
29 with those tires. I don't know. Maybe they'll have something for Kyle. He gets a good restart. It'll help. But watch for Tony to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
Stewart 4th and Harvick. Stewart 4th, Biffle.
All right, I want to see some green in that chat.
Jeff
We're about to go green here.
Those are the top 10 cars with fresh tires. When they get to the restart box, Kyle Busch going to have to try to put some distance on this field. 20 laps to go as they come to the green flag to finish off.
Here we go.
400. There's Stewart to the bottom.
Oh, come on, Tony.
And into Kane.
Look at the run. Joey Logano is getting on the high side, but he'll have to fall back in behind Kyle Busch.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the momentum. He was almost there, Joey Logano.
And you knew Kyle wasn't going to get to the top of the racetrack.
That was a pretty good mirror driving by Kyle Busch.
Harvick up top. Stewart to the apron, and he's got half a dozen with him.
I think if a driver can drive, they can stay in NASCAR. I don't care who they are.
All I can say is the race is on, boys. And they got somebody to chase. That 18 car's been the best car all day.
If you can drive, you can drive.
Kane way up the high side, and they triple deck him.
Boy, look at that, and Biffle just made a whale of a move.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick in the 29 got loose off turn 2. He lost that spot to Keselowski in the 2. And look at Kurt Busch in the 78. Just turned it to the bottom and gained 2 spots.
On the apron, slide job. Here
That's going to be tight.
Oh, boy, that was close.
Wow.
Now that is for 4th on back.
I think they were listening to your sprint 20 to go.
I tell you, that little 78 car is going somewhere, guys. He's got a pretty good car right now at the right time.
And Kurt Busch have his 2nd top 5 in a row after coming from the back off a penalty. Wow.
Kane in the 5 car, all kinds of troubles. It's like they're just trying to get more than there, especially on the exit of the corner.
Yeah, Kane got up high. He's up high again, but he got way too high off a 2. Had to get out of the throttle, lost his momentum, and a bunch of spots.
What a roller coaster that is into turn 3. And then right back up top, exiting 4.
Oh, look out.
Yeah, 4 wide back.
Whoa, look out.
Almirola shoots through.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I couldn't even say what it was because they were banging off each other.
Well, there's a man on a mission in the middle of that. Denny Howland at 11, remember, had to go to the back of the field because he had to repit for a missing lug nut. He knows the laps are running out.
Oh, this is
Jimmy
a
Johnson
storm right here.
Back in contention. Unfortunately, back in 20th.
Man.
They are all over each
other. Racing back there is intense.
As you say. And right now, when these tires are freshest, that's when you got to get all you can.
Oh, you just don't get that as much today.
They're making it.
Kevin Harvick battling Carl Edwards, 6th place.
Well, there's a guy right there that has had a whale of a day in that 22 car, and he is stalking Kyle Busch.
Biffle makes the move. One more break, but we're not going to leave you. We're going to go side
yeah,
by
of course
side
you're not.
in Montana with 16 laps to go.
And Boyer's around.
Let's pinch our dreams.
I love how as soon as they go to commercial, some things just never change, man.
Let's not let anything hold us
It is
back.
pretty cool commercial, I gotta admit. Let's not let anything hold us back. Except if Boyer goes around.
Clint Boyer was 10th in his Toyota.
His arm got itchy.
And smoke-filled interior of his car. There's the shot from in the car as Clint moves around to climb out.
He's in there somewhere.
He's out of there somewhere.
A cloud of smoke.
The timing there was impeccable.
It's a 10th place car. Let's ride along and look and listen and see if we can figure out what happened to Boyer.
They started bad, ends bad.
Ugh.
It's like the
Sounds like the chain when it would fall off my bicycle as a kid.
Death rattle when they just get that.
Who is Rhett Butler's favorite driver? Won't be me next week when I take him to go get snipped, that's for sure.
Yeah, we know this is an engine failure, and certainly Toyota, they've had their fair share of engine
My boy will be in the
problems.
cone of
I think
shame.
they felt pretty comfortable after Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and here with about 50 to go, they lose the engine.
Not sure who his favorite driver is.
Darryl, you're rolling off into the corner at 180
I'll
miles
have to
an hour,
ask
and
him.
suddenly all you can see is smoke.
Yeah, well, you can feel it's blowing up, but there's not a darn thing you can do about it. But hang on
Not
for
a
the
darn
ride.
thing you can
And,
do
you
about
see
it.
He's got the wheels locked down. He's trying to stay out of the track. Doesn't want to go back up in the racetrack. Hanging on for dear life.
A nice job by the spotter to reassure him. Nobody coming in your lane. Once the car immediately behind got.
Oh man,
Paul Menard was all over.
The
him.
account on
Here's
Instagram,
Hamlin.
NASCAR,
Got a
man,
little
they
heating
need
problem
to.
here. What they do? Throw a little extra tape on that thing.
They
for
need
this
to
last
do
run?
Well, it is
some throwback
it is funny
races.
That he's running warm here, but Matt, how about Joey Logano?
For about the last 2 runs, Larry Mack, he's been telling his team that the water and oil temperature absolutely almost pegged. Now he's telling Todd Gordon the water temperature is 300
and the oil temperature gauge absolutely pegged. It has come down now, he says, to about 285 under caution, but they need clean air and fast.
Well, as long as the system, it's a pressurized system, as long as it doesn't blow the water out, temperature is kind of it's a moot point.
This the best thing he can do, though, Larry. This will cool the engine. It will also cool the oil, and we've only got 14 laps to go. I believe he's going to be fine.
So Logano is coasting, shutting the engine
What are we thinking, y'all?
here.
Kyle Busch got this in the bag?
To coast
or?
along, get some cool air through that radiator. You're not generating any more heat with that engine off. I'm not sure how much it'll cool, but it can't hurt.
Well, the oil temperature will come down for sure, and that will affect the water temperature. So overall, I think he's going to be all right. The kid has drove his heart out today. This is one of the best races I've seen Joey Logano drive in a long time.
He is the second place car under caution with 14 laps to go after Clint Boyer has lost an engine at lap 185.
It's kind of cool calling him a kid as long as he's
surely nothing at all.
Still very young. Whoa,
Damn.
Look out.
Everybody wants pit road.
Everybody wants him.
Steve?
Carl Edwards saying the 99 is just too loose. That's been a problem all day for him.
Damn, that subway
but he
scheme
will
is
take
really
4
damn
tires.
good.
Casey Kane also on pit road. They've done a great job of fighting back. Let's go to Krista.
4 tires a call for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said he's just so tight in the center. The handling has gone away, so they're going to give it one last shot to see how many guys he can get past. Matt?
And the 24 of Jeff Gordon, the 16 of Biffle, and the 11 of Hamlin all have come down pit road trying to get fresh tires for one more shot for the win here as the closing laps are winding down.
8 drivers chose not to pit, so the race off pit road will be for 9th place. Ricky Stenhouse. The first 8 did not pit. We'll recap them for you in a moment as we go side by side in Fontana with 13
I am not
laps
watching
to go.
side by side commercials and caution laps. We'll fast forward that part.
Let's
Nope. There we go.
Chris Myers,
Let's get to the good
Walters
stuff.
under caution with 12 laps to go.
Row 1 has dominated this race, Chris, but I like row 2. Tony Stewart, he was solid on the restart, and Kurt Busch, Kyle's brother, man, he was streaking through the field. He's got a little bit fresher tires. This is going to be fun. No one's hungrier than Kurt Busch. I like him for this win on the outside of row 2.
Kurt, that's a
Kyle
felony in
won
some
one
places.
Race last year, he's led in the last 2. Pit road penalties have created a problem, Mike, but he has dominated today.
Kyle Busch at the front. Joey Logano right alongside. Kyle riding a 31 race winless streak, the longest since he's been at Joe Gibbs Racing. Logano trying to break into victory lane. Dave Blaney was the free pass car. He's back on the lead.
Oh, watch Denny and Dale back there.
How about
maybe
Kurt
Tony?
Busch, though?
Oh, this is gonna be a
After that speeding
restart.
penalty, did you ever figure he'd be right up here in row 2 for the final restart?
And he's right here. You know, his brother and Kyle and Kurt noticed the tail here. These guys might just get bushwhacked. He's looking at the outside.
Logano down to block Stewart. Stewart trying to get further underneath him. Can't. What a land rush into turn 1.
Hey, that 78 may come out on top if he can get up off it too. Couldn't quite pull it off.
That's
Good
if they all get
God,
off turn 2.
man.
Whoa, tight off of that corner.
Boy, Joey Logano, he did not give Kyle Busch much room. There comes Kurt Busch down to the bottom on the back.
And that's right where he's been running, Larry. Now watch him. He'll go down on that apron. He's got a lot of grip down there, and he's put a slide job on a couple of guys.
And he's got fresher tires. Here he comes up against Logano, but Kyle Busch brings them off turn 4 once again.
Man, Kurt and the 22 car of Logano are banging off each other.
Harvick edges up behind them, looking for a shot. Here comes Carl Edwards as well. Down on the bottom in yellow.
Yeah, Carl Edwards in the 99, and there's also right behind him Jeff Gordon in that 24 car.
And we haven't talked about Jeff Gordon all day. He's been
I
running
want to
in the
say
top
more.
15, 18.
Damn, I forgot how good this
And
finish
how about
is.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's back in the mix.
Contact.
Hold on
Edwards,
to it, boys.
Logano, and Kurt Busch.
What an amazing run these guys are making. This is a whale of a race right here, boys.
9 laps to go. And Kyle Busch watches it all unfold in his rearview mirror.
I was going to say for a second.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Jeff Gordon's
But it's
up
a whale
there.
of a
Junior's
race.
up there. Logano blocking like
Man,
usual.
just find a spot. Looking. Can I find a hole?
You know, we're looking back at Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin from Joey Logano. Michael Waltrip talked about fresh tires. Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin, they have fresher tires than any of these drivers.
Man.
Junior, did he get turned or did he dive? I think he had a little help. But boy, he recovered.
I remember watching this live and my heart's skipping a beat.
The entrance to turn 3.
How about that Carl Edwards up there fighting for the win with that old Subway uniform on that he's
June bug wild there.
Phoenix.
Yeah, it did look like Harvick got into the back of Dale Jr. Nice recovery. Let's have a quick look. Logano is inching up on Kyle Busch.
Logano has been, I am so impressed with the run he's made today, Larry. I really am. That splitter being off the left front, it doesn't matter because that corner of the car's on the track anyway.
But I think his problem is not Kyle Busch. It's Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards on those fresher tires right behind him.
Yeah, 7 to go this time.
And laps are running out. They're going to have to get there in a hurry.
7 laps to go. David Reagan in the pits overheating.
I love the snake, too, they used to
Oh, it's going to tighten up.
have
We
here.
know that. Those fresher tires will prevail if they got enough laps to use them.
And the freshest tires are Hamlin and Edwards.
There's the
as
move.
Logano takes the lead. Can he hold it off the corner?
Can he get up in front of
Nope.
him?
No.
No, he didn't make it.
Not enough room.
Oh, my gosh, that was so close. Falls back in line, loses momentum, and here comes Hamlin.
Best race ever at California Speedway. Kyle Busch trying to hold off his teammate Denny Hamlin.
Oh, yeah, he's
Joey Logano up high. Logano with a big steam run. And he
God, this was an awesome race.
Oh, my goodness. What a move. And the fans go wild.
And he'll clear Kyle Busch that time.
Have you ever?
No, I've never. But I'm telling you, I don't think that happens between the 11 and 22. I think we're getting ready to see something, boys.
I doubt this is over with 5 laps to go.
We're getting ready to see something.
And these fans know it. Nobody is sitting down.
Brad Keselowski off pace, telling him to pick up his speed to get through the last 5 laps here. He was 11th.
If we get through the last 5 laps out of caution, it will surprise me, I can tell you.
3 wide behind. Oh, man. Look at this. Down to the bottom, Matt Kenseth. Kevin Harvick has fallen back to that crowd.
Remember we talked about Joey Logano running warm. He's pushing a lot of water, but you know what? It doesn't matter now.
Don't even tell me about
God,
it.
and adding in what happened before this week between the two of them.
Carry it home.
How about this? The two guys.
Hell of a start to a year.
Rivalry the last week, and look at them. Here they are working on each other.
Carl Edwards for 3rd, takes it. Kyle Busch wind up on the high side, and boy, the 11 just can't quite close enough to get to Logano.
4 to go. 4 to go. You're doing fine. Don't look back.
Busch retakes 3rd. Kurt Busch has dropped to 7th behind Greg Biffle. Dale Jr. now 5th.
What a great recovery by the 88. Man, they were in trouble a little bit ago, and here he is marching to the front.
But up front, the little engine that could, steaming along, Joey Logano in his Penske Ford.
And here comes Junior.
Remember Dale Earnhardt Jr., he has fresher tires, just like Carl Edwards in that 99, especially compared to Kyle Busch in the 18.
Joey Logano is starting to gap that 11 car, though, Larry. He's starting to pull away.
He is pulling away, Darrell, but will that engine last 3 more laps?
If he doesn't run out of water, he'll be okay. That's a water heater right there, boys.
Yeah, he beat Denny Hamlin that time by 2.5 tenths.
Yeah, but Hamlin's on the bottom and digging.
And Hamlin's tires are 22 laps fresher than Logano's.
Don't you know Joey Logano he so wants to beat Denny Hamlin in this race.
And don't you know Hamlin is fired up now after those two made contact.
Oh, man.
And Logano got to the front.
I think they'll show each other a lot of respect in this
4
situation.
miles or so left.
I think.
11 closing in. Here we go.
2 to go.
2 to go. Oh, my gosh. Who would have thought?
2 to go.
Look out for that 18 there, man.
Earnhardt 2.5. Carl Edwards is 2 back.
Hamlin is there, boys. He's there. He's stalking him. I believe Hamlin's a skosh better.
It seems like he has a bit of an advantage down in turn 1 and 2.
Teammates last year, rivals this year. Friends, maybe never. But Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin are going to settle this right now.
Whoa, Hamlin cut him some slack. He had a run on him. Hamlin, Joey got loose and got a little sideways off the
White flag.
Gave him a shot. 1 to go.
Outside, Bailey, outside.
Hamlin there. Logano to the bottom, trying to hold his ground.
That's going to be tough, though. But he's been running good on the bottom. If he can just clear Hamlin right there.
No way. He's going to lose his momentum. They're going to touch hard. Are they going to make it?
Neck and neck.
Down the back, side by side.
Kyle Busch closing in.
Watch out from the third place car, Kyle Busch. He's looking.
Hamlin edges ahead. They get it. They touch.
Man, what a hell of a move by Busch.
Hamlin spins down the racetrack, and Kyle Busch wins in California.
Ooh, that 11. That was a hard hit. But man, holy hell, I forgot how good this race was. And the thing is, if you remember, slight spoiler, we ain't done with fireworks yet, man.
I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but I'm not surprised. Denny's got his window net down. I think he's fine.
And that's a good sign to the rescue workers that he is okay.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite races, honestly, ever, personally.
Went into turn 3, both refusing to lose.
I saw nothing wrong. That was two guys racing for the win. The 22 gets on, they're side by side. One pushes up a little bit. They make contact.
And here is the 5-hour energy, big move of the race.
Well, they got daytime fireworks now. What's crazy is racing like this back then. Like, this was, you know, as wild as it is now, but like we didn't see this as much as we do now.
But here's where it gets. This is where it gets crazy. Joey can't quite get up in front of Denny right here.
This is where we really saw the driver ethics, I think, mix between old and new.
And this is where they really go nuts down here.
Yeah, it sounds like Tony's pretty mad.
Gotta run, gotta run, gotta run, got a slight edge. But then Joey gets loose on the bottom. Watch his car, gets loose, walks up the hill. They make contact. Then they really get together, and that's when the 22 went in the wall, and the 11 hit that inside wall hard. Watch his car. Watch the back of the car. I mean, the whole car just came up off the
God, even in,
I don't see any safer barrier in that area.
Yeah, even in 2013, I'm surprised they didn't have safer barrier everywhere.
That's not payback.
Thanks, Rowdy8 for the 2. Watching KFB win is nostalgic at this point.
Both of them if they didn't do that.
You're not wrong. God, poor Denny.
I am a little concerned for Denny because that was an incredibly hard hit.
So that's Denny Hamlin being attended to at the scene.
Uh-oh, Tony's mad.
Joey Logano climbs out of what's left of his race car, and here's your winner. Kyle Busch breaks his winless streak. He gets the first win at Auto Club Speedway at Toyota's home track for them, and the first win here for Joe Gibbs Racing.
There he got him.
Boy, Tony Stewart is after Logano.
Well, I did see some punches thrown today. You can't say they're just pushing each other.
I think the only time a Kyle Busch win gets overshadowed.
Not sure what went on between Stewart and Logano.
Now, Stewart could have been reacting to the restart, where Logano came way down the track to block Tony, who had a run on the inside. Let's take a look at that.
Let's see what happens here. This is what Tony is upset about, I guess. No question. Joey blocked him, cut him off right there, and I'm sure that's what Tony. You know, quite honestly, it's a restart for heaven's sake. And, I mean, nobody did anything wrong. You know,
whose side you on there, 14 or 22?
For the win, and it's Logano trying to go as low as he can go.
Come on, boys, we're racing.
And Denny Hamlin has been helped into the ambulance. after a hard crash into the inside wall at the conclusion of this race.
Want to see what Tony has to say.
Tony Stewart, hot and bothered at Logano after a block on the restart. Wonder if Tony remembers how he blocked Michael Waltrip at Talladega one time. Punches thrown, but separated. And the winner, Kyle Busch, he took advantage of the Logano-Hamlin.
Let's get a few of these interviews. We'll end off on Tony, though.
And Matt Yoakum is there for the celebration.
Kyle Busch makes history in California. The first Sprint Cup win for the coach. Joe Gibbs, could you win it in any more dramatic Kyle Busch fashion?
No. They forgot about me, though. I knew they were gonna, but I figured the spotters would say that, you know, the 18's coming, y'all better stop messing around. But what a great day. This Interstate Batteries Camry was so fast all day. I mean, geez. It's so fun to come out here, perform like this, but to finally win it. I mean, it's been 3 years in the making. We finished third a couple years ago, second last year, first now this year. So Dave Rogers and all these guys, I can't say enough about
It's Paradox for the 5. Funny how Tony has done worse than Logano has.
M&M support always, and you know, the fans. And of course,
I think that's an
really
accident, but I appreciate the 5.
Now, you mentioned they forgot about you. You saw them.
But I will say on the
starting to get
racetrack,
close,
he has
starting to
done
trade paint.
in
What was going
NASCAR, I
through your
think,
mind?
just as egregious of things
Hopefully I
as
can get by before they wreck.
as Joey Logano.
You know, when they both went to the
People
bottom
forget how
side
much
of 3
smoke
and
was
4,
hated.
I'm like, oh man, this is golden. I got enough up here. I can make this happen. And lo and behold, you know, I put my foot to it and drove around the outside of them before they started crashing, or maybe as they were crashing. I'm not sure, but man, just feels so good to finally win. I mean, we weren't going to win if it wasn't for those two battling. If they would have been single file and just racing, you know, it would have went down in order. But can't say enough about all of Joe Gibbs Racing, everybody at TRD. We appreciate their support, and of course, being right here.
Yeah,
in
Kim
California,
Kuhn in the background.
Finally, we get the home win for Toyota. Finally, we get a win for Joe. Joe, this one's for you, buddy. I drove my butt off right there at the end. You know, it always do. And Norm also, man. We appreciate Norm Miller with Interstate Batteries.
Kyle Busch sweeps the weekend. Steve?
Well, Matt, we've caught up with Joey Logano back in the garage area, and Joey, controversy again. I know you just had a chance to look at the replay with Denny Hamlin, your side of it.
We worked it last week. Probably shouldn't have done what he did last week. So that's what he gets. And besides that, I think our auto
I know he doesn't know what happened, but
very strong all day. I was very happy with
that is a bad look.
The car we had. We were super fast, led a lot of laps. Nothing to hang our head down about, that's for sure. We're very, very proud of that. Doug Yates, thank you so much for the motor. That thing ran the last 7-8 laps with no water in it. Just pushing water over 300 degrees. So it's really amazing for those guys. So thank you guys that went at the Edna shop to get a solid run out of here today. Just look forward to get back to the racetrack and try it again.
Joey, here's the restart. Just spoke to Tony Stewart. He was really angry. Tell us what happened on the restart.
Yeah, I mean, I had to throw the block there. That was a race for the lead. And I felt like if the 14 got underneath me, that was going to be the end of my opportunity to win the race. So I was just trying to protect the spot I had. And I was actually pedaling because I couldn't keep the 18 to the line. I was actually faster than the 18 getting the tires hooked up. And then, you know, I'm trying to stagger myself, make sure I don't beat him to the line, and then I had to block the 14th run because I was pedaling it. So I'll talk to him, and we'll see what happens. But, you know, I don't know where I think he finished decent. So we'll talk about it some more.
Thank you, Joey. Appreciate your time. Let's go back to Chris Myers.
All right, thank you, Stephen. We're awaiting a health report. We certainly hope that Denny Hamlin is okay. You heard Logano say, referring to Tony Stewart, I had to block, and that's what he gets
Bob
referring
Pockrass
to Denny Hamlin. Michael Waltrip, let's take a look at where it went bad.
Well, when they come into the turn, Denny on the entry to turn 3 left Joey plenty of room on the bottom. I think Denny knew that the 18 was coming of Kyle Busch. He decided he better give him a little room, but Joey just kept coming up and up and up and drove into the side of Denny. Denny didn't do anything wrong. I think Denny was respectful.
We got a Kim
of the
Kuhn
last
cameo. We got a Bob cameo.
And Joey used that extra room and a little bit more.
Kyle Busch took advantage. You're watching the Sprint post-race show. Would that have happened?
Let's see if we can get to Tony's interview.
At the end here at the Auto Club 400, NASCAR on Fox, the post-race show presented by Sprint.
Come on,
Kyle
let's get
Busch,
to Tony's
Dale
interview.
Earnhardt Jr. and Kurt Busch. Tony Stewart wound up 22nd. You heard Joey Logano talk about the restart. Steve Burns caught up with Stewart after Tony went over to question and do more than that. Actually got a swing in there. Let's see what Steve Burns came up with.
Well, Tony, what angered you at the end of the race? What did you take issue with?
What the hell do you think I was mad about? Dumb little runs us clear down to the infield. He wants to about everybody else, and he's the one that drives like a little. I'm gonna bust his ass.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
All right, Michael Waltrip. Logano's been, we talked about it in the pre-race show.
All right, that's a good place to. I think that's a good place to end off for the night. Let's see. I'm gonna redo all this and see if I can come on in here. There we are. Put me up here a little bit more. But that is one of my favorite races. That definitely was, and I love coming on in here and being able to chill with you guys, watch some of these races in the off season. And I wanted to let you guys know that I think, based on how I'm planning it, we can do a couple of these with some Daytona 500s and Speed Weeks. So if y'all are cool with that, we'll do that. Probably have to be between the years of probably like 05 to 2014, give or take, is what I'm able to do. So I'll do a couple of those, but I'm just letting you know the streams and different things we do now in the off season. We're gonna like amp it up to 11 for Speed Weeks and NWP and all that that's coming. So I can't wait. I want to thank you guys all for super chats. I can tell some are a little out of pocket, but either way, you guys are. I appreciate the support either way. And it was a fun night with you guys. And thank you, Bailey, for the 2 in Tony's voice. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I miss Tony. I even miss him as an owner, even though he never showed up at the end. But we will definitely do more of these. Maybe I'm free Friday afternoon. I'm not sure, but we'll do another stream definitely within the next week or so. So let me know in the comments, because I'm not going to be able to see everybody in the chat. Preferably before 2014. That's where we're kind of safe when it comes to what NASCAR allows. They're pretty cool with older races. Let us know which ones you want. Stuff like the shootout, Speed Week stuff, we'll save for next year. So just, general races, things in general that you would like. Remember, we can still do this during the season next year too, so let's not burn all of the really, really good ones. But there's plenty of stuff. I mean, hell, if you want to see me suffer, I can watch one of those old bad races like 13 500 or Brickyard 400. I gave up alcohol for a year to see if I could do it, and that'll probably make me want to screw that up right at the end. But thank you guys for coming on in. I've already done a reaction to the Michigan Spring Race on this channel as the first race I ever was, or Michigan Summer Race, the first Michigan race of 06. That was the first race I ever attended. So that is on the channel in live streams. I don't know where exactly, but thank you guys so much for coming on out tonight. It was a blast, and we are definitely going to do it again. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night video. Tomorrow should be coming out morning, afternoon, somewhere in that range. There'll be a video out tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for coming on in, and have a good night, y'all. Later.